All right, locking in for our first podcast, UFC Des Moines. I hope I pronounced that right. UFC Iowa. We got Corey Sandhagen and Davison Figueroa, and we're here to give you our best picks, breakdowns, and just overall go through the card. It's me and UncMMA here. Um, MoeKnowsMMA couldn't make it today, and Hot Hand is in Europe right now, so we're gonna hold on the fort. We'll drop their plays in the video. But we'll go ahead and start with the first fight. We're gonna go with Juliana Miller versus Ivana Petrovic. Juliana Miller, your typical BJJ style. She's more of a defensive, off her back style fighter. She has just 6 pro fights, and she's coming off of a 20-month layoff due to an arm injury. She had emergency arm surgery after a severe tear, and had to sit out. Even recently, she was supposed to come back for February, and 5 weeks before her fight, um, she had a ruptured cyst, and she couldn't train for 2 or 3 weeks. That aside, she's a brown belt in BJJ, and she took bronze at the IBJJF World Championships in 2021. She's always hunting submissions, but she often chases those at the expense of position. She has a lot of errors, and her striking is mid. Tank is questionable as well. Then on the other side, we have Ivana Petrovic. Um, he trains with Valentina Shevchenko. Put a decent amount of rounds in at Extreme Couture recently in Vegas. She's looking to make that more of home. She's calm, methodical striker. She has pretty good grappling and top pressure. Um, she can leave herself open in scrambles, which is dangerous in this fight. Doesn't throw a high volume, but more than Juliana Miller does. Overall, for my verdict of the fight, I think Petrovic should have the edge with their striking and top control. She gets comfortable in Miller's guard, though. She could be flirting with danger. Right when they hit the match, Miller's going to be looking for Kimuras, arm bars, you name it. The value's thin on the fight with Ivana currently at minus 240. I think Petrovic wins by decision, maybe a TKO. You could probably take the double chance at minus 140 currently for a decent look. Um, Miller could win by submission on the other side if you want to hedge or an alt bet. That's around upwards of plus 800, and for her being a bronze at IBJF 2021, it's never a hard choice to take her by sub, especially at 8-1 odds. Overall, I'd probably pass on the fight or take Ivana by decision, but not a lot of value in this lower level of women's fights. What do you think about it, Unc?
Well, just getting the barley out of my mouth here and the thistle from us being up in the sticks. I feel like that episode of SpongeBob, we were out in the middle of the woods. All right, anyway. So, uh, Juliana Miller sucks as an MMA fighter. I don't know. She's decent in grappling, but I don't know. We do this every week in and out, and there's certain people that catch my excitement, we'll say, and there's other people that I just think it's another person that grapples that's now trying to get punched. And if you're a person that grapples and now you're trying to get punched and you're not an MMA fighter, normally doesn't work out. So I think Ivana Petrovic's pick. Um, I checked Juliana Miller's stuff. She just, as a fighter, is not good. You got unanimous. She got UD'd by Hardy's wife. She had the tendon thing. I just I'm really not like, and I normally am more enthusiastic about women's fights, but I think this is gonna be. I would have gave Ivana maybe even a minus 300. The only way Juliana wins the fight. Is it by the submission? I mean, I think Ivana Petrovic has decent jiu-jitsu,
Yep,
and
she's a purple belt.
I, like I said, there's people, week in and week out, some people that excite me, especially in the grappling aspect, but this isn't one of them. So, uh, overall, I'm probably gonna sink uh, Petrovic into a early card parlay because that's just what I do. But um, honestly, like if you hedge it with Juliana Miller sub, you'll come out because there's no way that Juliana Miller wins the fight by decision. Like just because you know jiu-jitsu doesn't mean you know control time. I mean, yeah, if she gets her back or something, but you're talking about offensive wrestling. It's just not there. So I so yeah, I just Juliana Miller gets the sub or Petrovic wins the fight all the way around. I just don't see how,
Yeah,
you know.
agreed. Yeah, so we're pretty
So
much both on Petrovic there. We'll move on to the next fight. Battle of pretty low level heavyweights. Dontel Mays versus Thomas Peterson. So Dontel Mays is possibly the worst heavyweight out there. Not quite sure how he still has a roster spot when guys like Rodrigo Nascimento beat him twice and was uh main eventing a fight night like 2 years ago, last year. And he's cut. He's in the PFL. Got a win for us last night. And another guy, he just fight like Alexander Volkov gets cut. We still have to watch Dante Mayos fight. It's just weird. But Thomas Peterson's a two-time state champ in high school wrestling. Uh, wrestled in college as well. Still pretty green all around as a MMA fighter, but he's coming off getting absolutely knocked out by Shamil Gaziev. Um, Peterson's pretty hittable. He doesn't really move his head much. Stands tall and doesn't really. He stays on the line. So he's very hittable for a striker, especially here with Dontel Mays' 7-inch reach advantage. Peterson does have good combos and throws in decent combinations. So he's not just usually throwing one; he's usually throwing a couple, which is good for him. It's good for him to close distance to shoot his takedowns. Dante Mays is pretty damn tall at 6'6". Um, the gas tank for Peterson as well is pretty good. He's proven he can stand and trade for multiple rounds besides being a wrestler at heart. Dante Mays on the other hand, he uses front kicks to manage distance. They don't really hurt, but it's just to cause them to back up. The big concern, he's vulnerable to these takedowns. And he doesn't fight for position off his back. He's one of those guys that when he's down, he's staying down for the most part. Um, in the clinch, he stands straight up. He eats knees. He's not looking for good head position or good framing. He does have a big right hand that he lunges over top with, and with that long reach, could catch somebody and end a fight, but doesn't really land. And if throughout the fight he gets less active, his gas tank folds under wrestling pressure. And I just think overall, Peterson, unless he gets caught quick with something, one of those right hands, in the first round, I think he's good for a decision or maybe a TKO. Any method, honestly, because if he gets him to the ground, Mays is not really going to get up often. So Uh, laying minus 300 ish though on low level heavyweights like this is scary business. I like the Peterson by decision at plus 120. That's a decent play. Um, Mays by KO could be your hedge or alt bet because I don't think he wins a decision here. And the only way he gets wins is if he catches Peterson coming in with something. So overall, I'm passing on this fight. I'm not paying that much on Peterson. You could take him as the plus money on the decision. Or you can probably take an over on this fight. I think it goes the second round, over 1.5 maybe as like a parlay piece. But other than that, I'm not too fond of this fight. How are you feeling on it?
well, I think that you or maybe I've just watched so much of Don'Tale Mayes. Don'Tale Mayes has the best. I'm not talking boxing. I'm not talking like footwork. I'm not talking head movement. I'm talking one thing. Don'Tale Mayes has the best jab in the heavyweight division. It's a really sour thing to say, but he does. That, from watching his fights, like he okay, so first of all, he's from Jackson Wink, so he's an OG with John Jones going back in the day. That's how I know about him. Secondly, he's let me down numerous times because I thought he was a fantastic boxer. And then I started watching him actually fight. He's not. But he has this weird ability where, because his reach is so long, when the other person closes distance, he knows exactly when to pop his jab. Can you win a fight off popping a jab? Not normally, but if there was a path of victory here, it would be Don'Tale Mayes not getting taken down and using his jab to keep Thomas Peterson off him. Now, I would be lying if I said I knew of all of Thomas Peterson's wrestling credentials, but I think you touched on them a little bit. And that really is the difference maker of the fight. If the fight hits the mat, Thomas Peterson, I mean, I don't know, many have tried to ground and pound Don'Tale Mayes out, and many have failed. It's gone to decision. So my job, as well as if Hot Hand was here or Mo, is to think of contingencies and other angles and what may happen. What do I think is going to happen? I think Peterson's going to get him on the mat and beat him up, and it may be a TKO, or they may just roll around and the ref stands him up. But what also that is out there in an alternate universe, which we've been right on, speaking our different opinions, is Don'Tale Mayes uses his lateral movement and parries the jab so many times that he just does enough to keep himself off and squeezes out a decision. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. But how could it happen? It's either a club of a right hand, like you said, or he literally jabs him to death, and Peterson can't wrestle him or get his hands on him. But seeing this guy back in the day, man, I thought him training with John Jones, and all this stuff, I thought this guy was going to be the man, And then he gets in there and he can't wrestle. He can't really strike too well. But the the lo- the I don't even know what to call him. He's big. He's real big. Has good. He has good lateral movement, but I mean, I watch this every week. I can't name another. You just talk about one thing, like one single. He has the best length controlling jab out of any of the heavyweights. But like I said, can you win the fight off a jab? Not normally. You need to throw something else with it. So I'm gonna ride. Well, I don't know what I'll do. Maybe a little. Like I said, I
For
normally
the
make a prelim
for the sake of
parlay.
the cat for the podcast, just for that purpose, what would your lean be on this one for the result?
For the result, I'd probably take Peterson. by decision. Like I said, I mean, Harder have tried to put this guy out and they can't. Oh, and he he has somewhat decent defense, submission defense. I don't. Peterson's not a submission guy. Like when I don't have the stats in front of me. When's the last time Dontel Mills got knocked out?
I'll pull up right now. Dontel Mays.
Let me look that up.
I'll have it right here. Let's see. Dontel Mays. Probably. Not sure. I'd rather just pull it up right here on my phone. Dontel Mays. He has. He got
20.
sub. He got subbed by Walter Walker.
So
Decision.
my
Knockout.
pick would
Damn.
probably be Stevens by decision.
Yeah. Dontel Mays.
I'm sorry, not Stevens. Peterson.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Jeremy
Yeah,
Stevens is back on this card, but
I don't think
it'd probably
Dontel
be
Mays.
it'd probably be Peterson by decision because, yeah, like I said, I mean, the only way Dontel Mays wins the fight is if he
Dontel Mays.
jabs Peterson to death.
He's only been knocked out one time in his career, and it was in.
I don't know how Peterson's.
Yeah, Mays has only been knocked out one time in his career, and it was to. It was. I can't even really find it. I see. Oh,
It was
DKO 2017 in Contender Series to Alan Crowder in the third round. That's the only time he's ever been. And it's the third round. He probably just got fatigued and ground and pounded, which could happen in this one. But I think the over's a safe bet. Peterson's a bit juiced, but both pretty much on Peterson in that aspect. We'll move on to the next fight, which is the one that a lot of people are split on. Well, maybe not the topology community, but uh, we got
oh yeah,
Quang Lee versus Gaston Bolanos. So we have Gaston Bolanos, who's an elite striker, I'd say. Pinpoint accuracy and kicks. He's a Muay Thai kickboxing guy. He's very high guard, throwing pretty. He's really good kicker, but he's high guard. He's having his hands up. He's there to be hit with his legs and stuff because Muay Thai is just exchanging. Like you're standing there, you're giving a leg kick to take one. Not really like a lot of dodging. You're just standing there and going back and forth. But he's getting his lateral movement a little bit better. But you don't really see guys like that succeeding at a high level. And like Carlos Prates, for example, guys with movement are a problem for him. He just hasn't really fought them besides before Ian Gary. But so his takedown defense is eh. He was getting slammed around by Romius, but Romius is a strong grappler. He just has really bad fight IQ. If he's stuck on the mat, he's a bit active. He throws elbows from his back. Um, on the ground, he showed a little bit of top control when he ends up on top. Chin may be a question mark because I personally believe that he was about 10, 15 seconds away at the end of the round against Romius to getting put out. He got clipped, did the chicken dance, landed on his head, and then got put in a sub, but got saved by the bell. Um, I personally believe that Romius lost the fight rather than Bolanos winning it. He had so many opportunities to win the fight, and his low IQ just led him to lose the decision. But he's been clipped and dropped before. On the other side of the bout, you have Quang Lee, 0-2 streak. Came from LFA in his first fight. He got called up on short notice against Chris Gutierrez. Took him to a decision, and even went on to win a round in that. He stole around, and he was controlling Chris Gutierrez on the ground pretty effortlessly, taking standing back mounts and shit. Uh, he's a solid grappler, serviceable striking. He's vulnerable to leg kicks, eats a decent amount, so that might be a problem in this one against a kicker like Bolanos. He does keep pressure and tries to read his opponent's timing. He has a few KOs on his record, but against shaky competition. He is a finisher for the most part. Uh, he gets takedown early. He's actually a submission threat. His line at like plus 800 for submission is a bit off in my opinion. Bolanos was giving up bad positions against Romius with lower IQ. In my opinion, Quang Lee might be a little bit above Romeus in almost all aspects, especially IQ. So if he gets the same position, I could see a sub. Um, Overall, the verdict for me is Lee's a higher IQ grappler than Bolanos, last opponent, and the fight saw Bolanos survive some sketchy moments. The fight feels close. Bolanos can absolutely find a kill shot with his precise striking, but if Lee gets him to the mat, he's live for a finish. A lot of the public's heavy on Bolanos. He's exciting to watch, great striker. Looks like the Payless version of Ilya Taporia. Um, but a guy who's 0-2 like Quang Lee, risk of being cut, and I think is overall the better fighter and has more ways to win this because also at the same time, Bolanos, the way his hands are when he's striking, he has them really high, like Muay Thai, like if you know what I mean. You have high guard and you're just throwing. Those looping strikes around the guard, which Lee throws decently well, because there's a lot of surface area on the gloves in Muay Thai, so you put it in front and it usually blocks a decent amount of your face. But those looping punches, what caught him too against Romeus, I think that one of those could arguably get him to the ground and get him put out. Um, I like the Quang Lee via submission for my official prediction for this. I'm gonna go a little bit wild on it, but that's a plus 800 on that. The alt look obviously would be the Bolanos via knockout, and might be a cold take. I'm not quite sure if how I feel yet because Lee has shown the ability to go 3 rounds. It's the not to go the distance at plus 105 in this one. The decent look. I think they're both live for finishes. Lee's a finisher at heart, even though he's with the decision. Yeah, he lost to Long Zhao, but Long Zhao has 30 career fights. He's a guy who's always in your face, like has everything in his toolbox. So I think Long Zhao would probably beat Bonos. So I'm not really taking that into account. I think that Lee's a live dog. Um, I'm sketched on his spread. I'm looking at it. I just think that it's not a very low percentage that Bolanos lands the strike, but I'm gonna ride with Lee here and fade the public for the most part. Well, how do you feel about this, Unk?
Yo, I liked I liked Lee, and I was like, this looks like another fucking guy that came out of that movie with John Claude Van Damme back
Uh,
in the day.
Bloodsport.
What was it? Bloodsport. Bloodsport. I was like, all right. Then I start looking at this guy. Yeah, he's got the striking, this and that, but like, I feel like, I mean, all right, like Bolanos, I think has a little bit of a more rounded game. They're very, very similar in like styles. I mean, neither one is like a BJJ guy or a wrestle heavy guy. I mean, they do a little clinch here and there. You might grab a leg, but it's not like they're like on you. I mean, um, but after going back and like watching just like the way, okay, I'm gonna say this the best I can. I've seen guys in my lifetime that know how to minimize damage but still get hit. Like you can shoulder roll, you can you can check kicks, you can there's different variations of being able to get punched but not like get knocked out. Quang Lee, like I mean, you were saying like he'll give one to take one, like with Muay Thai and stuff, like, but that, there.
I was saying Bolanos is the Muay
Oh,
Thai
okay,
guy.
all right. Well, still, like from watching Quang Lee though, like he has a background like striking Muay Thai. I mean, he don't like it's not like his background, like I said, is wrestling or jujitsu or anything like that. But Quang Lee looked like like he was like, I don't know, like stiff. Let me get like all the impact. Uh Bolanos, I just think is a little bit more flowy. I mean, like I don't know, better movement. So I'm personally backing Anos. Now, like I said, I was heavy on Lee early, but like I just think that he doesn't absorb strikes well. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I know what
So
you mean.
I like I don't know. You guys were calling me crazy when I said about 42-year-old Vince Pichel knowing how to do the thing where you put your hand up and he's swiping it down like a cat. Like it's just weird stuff. And I don't know. Bolanos, he I don't know. He just seems more fluent in the ring. And Kwang Lee's like, I'm gonna like walk you down. I'm gonna strike with you. Like, but he also absorbs shots shitty too. So like I can. So I'm gonna back Bolanos on hitting him more than Bolanos gets hit.
Okay, understandable. So you
That's
got Bolanos.
that's
You think he's getting the decision?
yeah. I
Okay,
don't think there's a I don't think there's a finish, and I think Bolanos will ride it out to a decision, and I think that Quang is gonna get he's gonna get clipped up a good bit, and eventually do to realize like you can't fight like that. I don't know.
yeah, but yeah. So we're split on this one. Understandable. It's one of those fights. I can easily see Bolanos getting that knockout shot. I personally see Lee getting to his grappling in this one. If he doesn't, he's gonna lose this fight. But I think he's gonna get to his grappling. If not,
Right.
I think he gets cleaned. But this is not a fight that I'm running to go grab either fighter. Bolanos' value did get a little bit better. I think he's at like minus 140, minus 150. Earlier in the week, I think he was more like minus 180. Um, Lee's creeping more towards that even number. I don't know. I liked him more towards like plus 130 ish. So, um, yeah, I took my shot with a little longer odds play, a little value with that plus 800 Lee by sub. I just think the odds are a little bit out of proportion, but not a fight that I'm running to get to. We'll move over to the Gillian Robertson fight. Gillian Robertson versus Marina Rodriguez. And it's just, for me, this fight is pretty easy to call, in my opinion, relatively. I just think Jillian Robertson, if I'm not mistaken, she's had a takedown at least one in 11 of her last 12 fights. And then Marina Rodriguez has been taken down in I think 7 of her last 8, something around that number. She's getting taken down a lot. Like it might be more than that. I'm just not gonna check right now. I had it in my notes, but I can't find it. But yeah, she gets taken down a lot. She doesn't really get up well. She's never been subbed in her career, which is interesting because Jillian Robertson's pretty good at subbing girls. Even though she's starting to get a little bit of a ground and pounder, I just think Jillian Robertson gets to the ground, top control. Maybe not the submit. I don't know what her mindset's going to be. A lot of people say that she's only submissions. She has some TKOs. Maybe she goes for the TKO here. I snagged the TKO personally. The odds were out of proportion. Plus 1200 for the TKO is a minus 300 favorite. Put that on Bet 365. That just worked. I just feel like you have to take a shot like that. Um, Submission. It's live, but Rodriguez pretty old and she's never been subbed. So I just decision or knockout, I guess. Julia Robertson can win it anyway. I think it's gonna be. It would shock me if Rodriguez somehow pulls this out. I got um I got Robertson via TKO, but I wouldn't be surprised on a decision.
Um. So, okay. This is kind of hard to call because Gillian Robertson is the BJJ ace on the ground, but like, her grappling is not. I'm talking like like I don't know, like wrestling, like I don't know, offensive wrestling, offensive grappling, whatever you want to. Takedowns. Like, yeah, she gets them. So like, I think the takedown prop is like, but um, I don't know if she finishes the submission in this one because Mariana's never been subbed, correct? That's what,
Yeah, correct.
right.
So yeah, she's never been subbed before in her career. That's why I was looking at that. If you're getting plus 1200 on a minus 300 favorite to get a TKO, I just feel like you gotta take the shot. I'm pretty sure all the odds for every method is plus money in this. Probably make out taking you can probably make out by taking the decision and this knockout together if the submission's not on your mind. But
Yeah, I'm I'm saying to people it would probably be smart to fade the public here. I don't know if Jillian Roberts gets the submission
yeah,
unless
Gillian Robertson by decision is the most likely outcome at plus 100.
by decision is plus one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna take a play, that's probably the play to take. Marina Rodriguez. I mean, well, I don't.
Jillian
How does she?
Robinson's line's looking a little bit better actually right now. She's at minus 245. She was at like minus 3 something earlier. Um, you could probably get that down to reasonable odds. That actually just piqued my interest. She's getting to playable odds now. If she gets down to minus 200. That's some real value because I think she wins this fight more than likely. I'm just trying to look how you can play it right now. If you take Jillian Robertson and over a half round, over one half round, you get it at minus 215.
I I mean, I think she should handle her. Like I don't. I'm trying to come up here with a. Hold on, I got to throw another log on the fire. SpongeBob's out back singing campfire songs. Anyway, they're still out here and as Moe's or whatever the call. Ugh, I gotta stop cursing if we ever put this out. All right. I can't say anything good about the girl. I don't know. Like I've seen Jillian Robertson fight so much in my life, and she just subs people or wrestles them, and it's just like, I, I mean, same program here. What's Rodriguez doing? What's she doing? I mean, she been in Tiger Muay Thai. She been training with Freddie Roach. Like she pull up to I don't know. So she pull up to Muhammad Ali, the Ghost, and get him to train. Like she
Yeah.
she ain't gonna strike her way to win. So,
Yeah, that's she probably might have the striking
so
advantage, but not by much. So yeah, I think Jillian Robertson might be clear cut in this one. I usually don't like that in women's MMA. You could take that over a half round. I think it lasts at 2.5 minutes. Um, more than likely, and that gets you down to minus 215 odds. Which, if you parlay that with pretty much anything around minus 300 or minus 350 or better, you're getting plus money, which might be the route I go. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm looking at the numbers right now for like minutes and stuff. If you get the over, if you go Jillian, oh, I kind of like this. Jillian Robertson in over 4.5 minutes is minus 160. You just
all
have to
right,
hope.
there you go.
Yeah, you just have to hope that
That,
Marina Rodriguez survives the round. But I think the veteran could, and if not, she's getting TKO'd, most likely not subbed. So you can get that plus that 12-1 as well. So I already have that 12-1 locked in for the TKO. I just think that the odds are just misrepresented there, and we'll move on. I do like her odds are coming back down to earth. We got a fight that odds are not down to earth. We got Azamat Bokev, former LFA champion, fighting against Ryan Loder, former Ultimate Fighter winner. Um,
He was
this
never
fight
very
is
good.
just, I don't know. Um, Ryan Loder has some world class wrestling, some of the best in the UFC, but we haven't seen much of it. Asma Bakoya is extremely well rounded, but he just scares me. What really scared me is what most people are saying, honestly, about um his fight with Dylan Butka. Dylan Butka was only 15 months into his MMA career, and he fought for a vacant, is it either interim or vacant belt in LFA. Fought against Bakoyev and went to a split decision. And Dylan Butka is terrible. So I just
They
think
checked the they checked the grappling on this guy, brother.
he has good.
Koya.
McCoy's has good grappling. He actually is. You pretty much grapple first guy. I was looking at his takedown prop at 2.5. I was gonna take the under. It was at minus 135. Right when I was looking at it before this came up or a cast, it bumped to minus 200, which is now a little bit out of my realm. At the minus 135 mark, I don't really think that he's gonna. Ryan Loder's really good on the ground. If he gets taken down, I don't think he's getting taken down 3 times. Um, I think this fight might be on the feet. Their grappling might cancel out, and striking. Our Ryan Loder striking is kind of a question mark. Bokoyev is solid, but there's moments against Dylan Butka, who's more of a grappler. He made Dylan Butka look like Anderson Silva. He was moving around. I don't know. This fight's a stay away spot for me. I'm not paying the juice on Bokoyev after one fight. He fought Zachary's, who got into the UFC kind of off a fluke. Uh, and I will claim that I was on Zachary's in that fight. It was just short notice. I will take the fall there. But I guess the way to go about this, uh, I'm just trying to look at the props. Yeah, they dropped the Bokoyev takedowns down a notch now. They recorrected it. It's at 1.5 at pick'em odds at minus 115. Don't know how to feel about that. 2 takedowns, I'm not sure. So I'd probably stay away. Values, I probably say fight, don't go the distance. I think that Bakoyev can get a knockout probably on the feet against Ryan Loder. They stand for a while. He has some power, but overall, this fight does not intrigue me. It's probably my least favorite on the card, and there's women. Yeah, this one's up there with the Miesha Tate fight. That's my least favorite on the card. But I'll give the mic over to you now, Hunk.
Well, I never really thought Ryan Loder was that good. Yeah, I mean, can't deny what he does, but overall, Okoyev. Yeah, I mean, everybody has their night though. You know, you're talking about the Bucka fight. It could happen to anybody. Matt Serra knocked out GSP. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Buck could just look a world beater in that fight. But Ryan Loder's still improving.
yeah, he's young. Well, not young, but he don't have a lot of fights.
Yeah.
I'm I never thought Ryan Loder was that good. And this is going back a couple years ago because he was supposed to be. There's hype. There was hype around him like 3 years ago. So, um, I think I'm gonna abstain from like picking a winner, but I definitely would say, if you could get it like round two to start or one over 1.5, even maybe. Because I feel like they are gonna feel each other out a lot, or they're gonna grapple a lot, and that's just what it's gonna be. Um,
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see the game plans in this. Um, no, what does Ryan Loader want to do? Does he want to try to, press the pace? But Bokev is right. Um, I mean, he's always shooting for takedowns. He has a high takedown, he has high takedown stats, etc. Um, the fight strategy, I think, is really going to be in question, or the question here. But looking at the trends of these guys, I think pick here is try to get this over like 1.5 rounds. Um, let me kind of see what that is. Uh,
The over 1.5 rounds is at
See, over 2.5 is like -120. So the odds makers think it's going to the judges. Oh,
that's kind
never.
of that's
Well,
kind of pick 'em.
over 1.5 is -225. So, but that's still, yeah, for 1.5. So that's still pretty high.
Yeah.
So but I think I'm just gonna keep it easy and stay somewhere down around there, like over 1.5 rounds. Like these guys' whole fight history. There's like there's a first round here and there, but the trend would be that it would 1.5 would be a good pick, and then they both can wrestle, and I don't know. It's not like either one's like a world class striker, so I think there's going to be a feeling out process there of all right, like what are we doing? Are we shooting? Are we shooting takedowns? Are we striking? Like what are we doing? And I think as that goes on, uh, you'll be able the time of 1.5 will be able to be hit. But as far as like a straight out like money line winner, um, I think Bokov's a little juiced there. Their DraftKings is -340. But then again, like I said, there was hype around Ryan Loader like 3 years ago that I remember, and like when he didn't even get to the UFC until 2024. So I never thought he was really that good because he fought in um what the hell was it?
The Uriah
It
Faber
was
thing.
like yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched one of those
yeah.
fights earlier today on Fight Pass. It was pretty low
I was
level.
gonna say the team. I was gonna say the team alpha male MMA event, but that wasn't right. Yeah, the Uriah Faber thing. He was supposed to be like, "Damn, homie, this the man, homie, da 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 da," and he wasn't. And then he fluttered in the LFA, and like 3 years later, I see him in the UFC. So I don't know. I think they need to these two cats need to bang it out, but that -340 might be a little steep.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm just gonna
personally,
take a
I per-
conservative round prop. Go ahead.
yeah, I personally think this is a fight that you like collect data on both fighters. Both guys will stay in the UFC even with a loss. So I think this is one of those fights you just watch and get some value, or you watch and enjoy. Maybe take a live bet. You see if the grappling of Bokev or the clinching is looking good. I think this is a live bet fight or pass. But we'll move on to the next girl fight on the card. Misha Tate, Yana Santos. Um, this fight.
Should win this. Fucking no
Yeah,
problem.
I think that she wins this too if she can get to her wrestling. She's been training pretty hard. I've seen on Instagram and social media. She's in great shape. Uh, I'm not running to get Misha Tate, but I think that her under minus, I think she's minus 140 ish around that range. Um, on DraftKings right now, they have her at minus 130, so the odds are getting a little bit better. But if you go to fight time, it might end up being like I don't even know, depending. Minus 130 is good value though, in my opinion, for Misha Tate. I'm not gonna run to the counter to go place that bet. I think she can get to her grappling and clinching and make this a dirty fight against Yana Santos. I'll take Misha Tate by decision. My official pick. I don't really want to like if it stays in the feet. I think Yana Santos could possibly light her up. It's just not a fight that's like lock them up, like go put your mortgage on it. I think the edge is with Misha Tate, but these girls are both super old. Um, there's better places to put your money. You can go bet on the Derby for this. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna go with Misha Tate.
Listen, I knew Iana Santos when she was Iana Nakoya or whatever long Russian name insert here. And I knew Misha Tate, or have watched me. I watched Misha Tate since she coached with Ronda Rousey, so I know these styles like the back of my hand. Barring any type of injury, Misha Tate should win this fight. Her jiu-jitsu is good. Her wrestling is good. She knows how to close the distance. Yana has a good teep kick and uses her length somewhat well, but like she always folded in big fights or anything important like that she had to come through. Like she just don't got that closing dog. So Misha Tate all the way, but you know, once again, Kentucky Derby is tomorrow. You might want to put your money on something more worthwhile, but like Misha Tate should not like have any issue with this. I mean, Yana never had the best takedown defense. She has long legs. You know, Misha Tate even might even grab an ankle. Like she
Yeah.
has good wrestling. She has good chain wrestling. Like I said, good jujitsu, and it would really be Yana would have to keep kicker to keep her away, and put in like like solid like little like 1, 2, 3s on Misha's face, and even to not win the fight, but like I said, I've been following these ladies a long time, and Unc's MMA says that Misha Tate should win this, no problem.
All right. Yeah. So it's pretty some confidence on the side of Unk here on Misha Tate. I'm a little more skeptical, but I also have Misha Tate, and I probably will play her in a bet on the money line. Might not get cute with anything else. But yeah, we'll rock a Misha Tate here, but I won't say I'm surprised regardless. The Derby's tomorrow, so go take something there. Bet on sovereignty or whatever. I don't even know. But or Lux Cafe. But here we go with the next fight. We got Jeremy Stevens and
Who
Mason
the fuck
Jones.
is that guy?
We got the hardest hitting 145er. And if he comes out here and flatlines Mason Jones, shout out MMA fortune teller. I heard him say this on his show, but he might be the hardest 145er we've ever seen. He comes out here and off the layoff and sleeps this young cat. But I think this fight comes down to what your idea is. I think the odds are a little steep. Like the implied probability of Jeremy Stevens winning is probably better. Mason Jones, I feel like if you think he's gonna win the fight, you think that he's gonna bring some wrestling into this. because if you think that it's going to be a stand and bang for 15 minutes, I don't think you want to put your money on a 5-1 or 5-1 favorite or whatever he's currently at. I'll pull it up right now. Mason Jones minus 650 on DraftKings currently. So I know Jeremy Stevens been boxing, not really doing MMA. He might be worried about the takedowns. So if you think he's gonna get to his wrestling, um, a read in that respect could be Mason Jones over 1.5 takedowns at minus 150 on DraftKings. You might get a better line on Caesars, but yeah, the over 1.5 takedowns at minus 150 gives you some value because if he's gonna win this fight, I think he gets into his wrestling. If he sends and bangs with Jeremy Stevens, um, you saw what he did to Josh Emmett. I know this is a long time he hasn't fought, but if they stand and bang, he's been doing that for a decent amount of time now, and he was fighting up a juiced up Eddie Alvarez. Um, Jeremy Stevens knockout is fucking like plus 800, almost plus 1,000. So you could take that if you think it's gonna stay a stand and bang. You can take the minus 150 on the Mason Jones, or play around with like a minute prop or something. I don't really know. I don't know how confident I am on that. I think the line's a little steep. I think Mason Jones has to prove himself, and he takes a big shot. He can get put out by the hardest hitting 145er. So my official prediction for this fight, if you're marking me down, I'll probably say Mason Jones via TKO or decision. The TKO being on the ground, ground and pound. TKO like flurry of punches, not like stone cold out, knocked out. How do you feel?
Bartender, bartender really did it this time. They pulled Jeremy Stevens back and he's alive. Never thought he was that good, but he can throw a mean right hook. And he hit this kid from Wales like a piece of shit. It's from Wales. Wales. The fuck the fuck are they doing in Wales? No, but in all seriousness, I think you're I mean, yeah, okay, you can value Jeremy Stevens like if you just want to like put couple dollars to sprinkle that you don't mind losing, but I think you're a moron at really honestly if you're trying to do money lines on this shit. The whole way to build this, however you want to put this in your phone when you hear this and or not hear this or when you heard it and then you can go back and say I said it, is someone is getting knocked out. Like knocked out.
I think so, yeah, minus
Like
120 on the under 2.5.
knocked out. Like I mean, all right. In all seriousness, I statistically don't really have information in my brain about whales, BJJ, or wrestling. So, and I kind of remember Jeremy Stevens not being the best wrestler back when he did fight. So, I mean, I can't see that that's like gotten a lot better. So, like, I mean, if this kid can wrestle, but I don't, that part of the world isn't known for that. I mean, I don't have
Um,
anything that would,
to touch on what you said about that someone getting knocked the fuck out, if you look
yeah.
on FanDuel, the how fight will end plus 140 for the knockout. So that might be a way you get plus money on this fight.
All right, well that's what I mean, that's what you want to do. Like in my mind, if Jeremy Stevens just went and did bare knuckle and was okay and yeah, Eddie Alvarez was juiced to the gills and he could go do that and etc. Like the only way that he's coming back, well, he's getting old, but I'm talking about this particular matchup. The only way that he's coming back to like an MMA fight and losing is like if you have like a young kid that is wrestling him. But like, go ahead, Wales kid. try to stand toe to toe with Jeremy Stevens. I mean, come talk to me later and let me know how it was. Like, I mean, no one. You know, I'm sure your coaches warned you. Don't stand in front of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so as they say, let the gods forever be in your favor if you want to try to be a hero. But
Yeah.
I, I would not want to fucking do that. Or if someone said, strategically, how would you win this fight? I would not say, well, I'm going to go out and stand in front of Jeremy Stevens, who just, he lost the fights. He lost some fights in the UFC, so then went out and did some bare knuckle boxing and was smashing the shit out of people's faces, and now he's back. So I'm going to go test my stand up. I think that would be a very idiotic idea. But this kid's like, what, 30,
Um,
right?
Mason Jones, or what's his name?
Yeah.
Let me pull up right
Mason
now.
Jones, yeah,
Yeah,
he's 30.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
yeah, 30.
So go ahead, Cat. Be a hero. I mean, do
And
whatever.
he has
But
two losses on his record, so he's not even flawed. He lost to lost to Ludwig Klein, which is I give it a valuable L, and he lost to
okay,
Mike Davis, who I don't know about Mike Davis no more. I don't know if for Zion or whatever who he fought last is good or is he just shit. He's a good athlete, but I'm not sold on him. Those are two alright losses.
TBD to be determined
Yeah,
on that.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know how to grade those yet, but yeah, like you said, I think if you're taking Mason Jones money line, might as well go bet on a horse. Um,
right. Yep.
yeah, that's my view on that. Or you might as well just
Yeah.
watch this if you catch it tonight. If we have it up tonight, if we have it up tomorrow, you go and bet on one Muay Thai instead of betting the money line for Mason Jones. But yeah. So there's not much more to say. Uh, both on if someone's getting knocked out probably. If you think Mason Jones is gonna win, rather than taking his money line, I think the over 1.5 takedowns or just taking the knockout is a good way to go. We'll move on to the next fight. Cameron Smotherman versus Sari City. I probably butchered that. Uh, this fight, I've seen people both ways. City probably could get to his grappling if anybody in this fight. Not huge on this one. Some value on Smotherman. He beat Jake Hadley, which that's aging well, kinda. Jake Hadley's in PFL, might win the tournament, but I think he's in the tournament. But Jake Hadley's definitely quality guy in my opinion. He's got a rough draw in the UFC. Uh, City, there's not a lot that you can see off him that makes you love him. He is decent. He's definitely the grappling advantage. His one plus takedown at minus 135. I think I saw that earlier. Pull it up right now so I can be specific with it. But I think that might be a look if it's still at a half. We have it is currently at a half. Oh, it got better. Pick 'em odds for a half takedown. You might actually be able to wait and get it at plus money, plus 100 flat, or you might get screwed. These takedowns move so much. I think that's value though. You get him at pick 'em lines for one takedown, and he's the guy. And if he's standing with a guy, Cameron Smotherman, who's mostly a striker, um, he might panic shoot and get something. Not a fight that I'm rushing for the counter either. Uh, my official decision probably gonna be Cameron Smotherman. Value, I'll take the plus money. I think he could stay up, and I think he has the better striking. Don't really value Surrey City that much. I like the Jake Hadley victory, so I'll take the dog on this one.
Uh, honestly,
Not liking it.
nah, man. Because they like they're how who if City doesn't wrestle, it's a decision, right? Like,
He might get knocked out, but probably a decision. I'd probably say Cameron Smotherman double chance, knockout decision. You could probably I'll pull up DraftKings. It's probably not the best spot for the odds, but if you look at the double chance on Cameron Smotherman, you can get it at knockout decision at plus 120. Hey, you might as well just play the money line. Plus 125, plus 110, plus 115. You might as well just go with the money line if you're gonna take that route. But yeah, if City don't grapple, it's probably gonna be a decision. Maybe. I don't know. This is a fight that's another one. Like you don't know about these guys.
all right, so this is what I'm legit doing. I'm taking a half unit and I'm putting a quarter unit on one of these cats to win by split decision, and then I'm putting another quarter unit on one of these cats to win by unanimous decision, and hopefully it works out.
You could probably just
Or
take if you take if you go ahead and take maybe just the fight to end by split decision, you can get that winning method to
well, those odds are always huge. That's why I'm saying that.
plus
This,
three.
if you bet it strictly split or strictly unanimous, those odds are always huge.
If you take Cameron Smotherman by split or majority decision, you get it at plus 900. So if you're taking
Yeah, that's what I'm
shots,
saying.
if you're taking
Yeah.
shots on this fight, it wouldn't be out of the question. Or if you got a book that's just like exact, like split decision. But yeah, do you have like a side? No.
Do I have a side though of who do I think is going to win the fight?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that what's his name?
Motherman or
You
City?
just moved this. No, you moved the screen. Smotherman.
Oh yeah, my bad.
I think
Justin for that. Yeah, Smotherman, Cameron Smotherman.
I think I think he's gonna uh wait wait bully see he Seti, however you want to say his name, because that dude normally is a little bit thicker and carries more power. Sorry, I just cracked my vitamin water. And like it's not the same situation, but I remember the time Gufarov was gonna fight the
Uh,
Asian,
uh,
and I was like, oh well, the Asian has better grappling, like da da da, and I'm like, yeah, but the Gufarov has he has the weight, so if they get in like the grappling, like he's gonna like move him around with the weight. The Smotherman cat carries weight better, so like these are like little guys, So having that like club power strength punch could keep City at bay. So uh even with the like grappling, I think that he might just bang on him, and if it's a decision, like he they Smotherman wins the decision.
yeah. So we're both taking the dog here on Smotherman. We'll move on to the next fight. We got Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. Uh, Marcos, undefeated fighter. Uh, looked good against Castanedos. Castanedos obviously just lost a split decision to Chris Gutierrez. Gutierrez is a decision merchant, so I don't know how to value that. But it comes down to if you think that Montel Jackson's going to be able to either implement his wrestling or put Marcos out. He has a nice, I believe, 8-inch reach advantage in this fight. Um, has the height advantage. Marcos isn't a wrestler, so I don't really see him getting to the takedowns. Mont Montel Jackson. He does wrestle sometimes. Has a pretty strong trips and stuff, but he might try to get this fight to the ground. If you look at his history, he's gotten into the ground. He's just a very slow and passive striker. Like he's sitting there, he's sitting there and He's just I want to see how to say this. His body language isn't like very active. He's trying to find the shot. He's using his reach, but he's not really throwing. Um, has a pretty strong jab. He has some power in his hands. He put Blackshear out right off the rip, but I don't know how I value Blackshear striking because dude's over here kickboxing with fucking Alatang Wei Lee or whatever. Did not look well. Um, Montel Jackson,
Did not
minus.
look well. Did not look well.
But
Did not look. Did not look well at all.
Mon-
I pissed your eye off. All right, go ahead.
Montel Jackson at minus 240 now on DraftKings. Yeah, get out of my face. Daniel Marcos at 2-1. I'm not saying he wins the fight. 2-1 is a pretty good odds on that. I like the plus 3.5, minus 135. But I think my favorite play in this fight comes as a prop. You can get this on Bet365, and it's let me see the current odds. See if it got bumped if I saw it earlier. But if you go to or not significant strikes, just regular strikes, because I think that Bet365 is the only place that has these. But you go to the fighter matchups, and
We're betting regular strikes.
yeah, um,
It's like paying. It's like playing penny slots.
yeah, but I kind of like this one based off like statistics and stuff. Um,
Oh, okay. All
total
right.
strikes landed. If you take Montel Jackson under 74.5 strikes landed. So if Montel Jackson's very slow striker, and or if you want to go different route, you can take the Montel Jackson under 74.5 is minus 120, or you can take the fighter matchup, Daniel Marcos to have more strikes. That's at minus 125. I also like that. Um, I think that under 74.5. If you look at Montel Jackson's statistics over his last fights, or all his fights, so I'll discredit his last two because they're both first round finishes. Because I don't want to give him that 4 strikes against Blackshear, and he put him out immediately, and then 9 strikes against Ronnie Yaya. I don't think that either of those guys' chins are up to par with Daniel Marcos. Then you go to Julio Arce or whatever. I watched that fight earlier. 48 strikes in a decision, and they were standing on the feet for the majority of the fight. Um,
Oh my God, these guys are smoking mids.
Montel Jackson, this KO first round, so I can't really credit this one. Jesse Strader, 15 strikes. A decision, unanimous decision against Brett Johns, 26 strikes. Got taken out a lot. Montel
Well,
Jackson,
wait. What year was that?
that was into 2020. Like I'm going back through all of his fights because he's not really that active. You look at his last two
Because
fights. He's been under 74.5 strikes in every one of his UFC fights besides one, and they got 75 on the dot. So he would have hit it by a
all I'm
half.
saying, all I'm saying is that was Brett the Pikey ones.
Yeah,
So if
he
you could
slammed him
put,
around. Yeah, but Montel Jackson only hit it once in his
if
career,
you
and it
could
was
put some
75
respect,
against Felipe Colares. And Felipe Colares had a 30. Let me see, striking defense, 36% striking defense. So he was getting punched. He was a punching bag. So I like the under 74.5. If you think Montel Jackson's winning this fight, he's probably gonna knock him out. So or use his wrestling. Both, I don't think that he's dropping a lot of strikes because his ground and pound's kind of calm too. He's just trying to find the one. He's not throwing a lot. He's just trying to find that one. And or if you take Daniel Marcos to have more strikes, because if you look at Marcos's numbers, I'm pulling it up right now. Daniel Marcos's numbers, his last fight against Yanez, or not, yeah, his last fight against Adrian Yanez, 86 strikes. That's already more in one fight than that's 11 more than Montel Jackson has ever had in his career, at his highest.
he's getting swept.
Daniel Marcos against John Castaneda, 98. Him against Ariki Long, 81. Daniel Marcos against Davy Grant, 48, 48, and he won. And that's already more than like I believe like almost like all but two or three of Montel Jackson's fights. Then 53 against Simon Oliveira, who's a can, and that was the second round knockout. And then Daniel Marcos over Brandon Lewis in his Dana White Contender Series, 81 strikes. So this guy's averaging like 70 significant strikes. He's hit over 80 in one, two, three, four fights. I think that he gets the more strikes in this. I think he's gonna throw a lot of leg kicks, try to get those long legs of Jackson out the way. And if he gets put out, probably will have more strikes before he gets slept. The only thing that worries about me is the range that they're gonna have. If Montel Jackson could consider the range, and if Marcos is gonna be able to even be in kicking range. But you're getting minus 125 on that for a guy who is very slow versus a guy who is very fast and has a good tank. And for result wise, I don't think that Montel Jackson, I don't think he's going to knock him out, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to knock him out. If he can get to his wrestling, he could win. But for the odds, minus 240, I don't like it. I'll probably take Daniel Marcos as the dog, probably via decision. Especially the underdog, or not the underdog. Yeah, the underdog, but the upcoming prospect, somewhat undefeated, could give him a fight night main event or something. How marketable is Montel Jackson when he has only 2 losses and people don't even know his name as much? But yeah, I'll take the plus 3.5 for Daniel Marcos. Probably also live money line. I like the I got the under 74.5 strikes on Montel Jackson, and I have Daniel Marcos to land more strikes.
Listen, kid. Speed beats power. Precision beats speed. Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos gets the win. That's it.
That's what you got? All right.
Conor McGregor said once, speed beats power, precision beats speed.
Yeah, it says six and a
And
half inch reach advantage. Montel Jackson.
yeah, okay. So realistically, the only thing that he's got to worry about is not getting clubbed. Daniel Marcos is 17-0.
Yeah, 17 and 0 and one no contest.
Okay, that was not anywhere in my shit. I don't have that written.
I'm just on the UFC stats page and I looked at his record and it says one no contest in parentheses. It
Does he
wasn't
have?
wasn't in the UFC. Oh, it was a no contest against Ricky Long. I think it was I don't know what a low blows to Ricky Long. I guess Daniel Marcos low blow when Ricky Long pulled out. But
We'll be back to you in a minute. Here's a word from our sponsors.
but yeah, our sponsors are MMA Gems and the Phage Factory Discord. We'll drop the link in the bio for that. That's where you're gonna get our top gem plays. $10 a month or $25 for 3 months. And if you don't profit from our selected unanimous gems in that month span, we will extend you for a free month on us. Our ROI percentage speaks for itself. We're one of the top in the game right now, and we're making it at a manageable price. That also includes PFL, which we put real pain on last night. Cage Warriors, some boxing, BKFC when we get some edges. Uh, we don't really like taking one because they don't really offer a lot of the MMA bouts, but might have a one play here and there. But you're getting all that value for $10 a month, and you're getting a free month if you don't profit. And you get all this information more. You get it. This is live actually right now. This podcast is gonna go up on the YouTube channel, but this is live through our Discord. And hey, just come on board. Join the Discord. It's gonna be link in bio. But we'll move on to the
Good
next.
job.
Move on to the
Good
next fight.
job, Mikey.
We'll move on to the
Good
next.
job, Mikey boy.
We got four.
You had to read the listen. He had to read the part up to XXX, and then we we were covered and we were good. So good job, Mike. Good job reading the card. Hopefully, we fit more people in next time. But Daniel Marcos wins the fight. His record speaks for itself, and he'll do great. Montel Jackson being there, moving around like an old man with a hurt back. So that's it. We're past it.
All right, so moving to the next bout, we got Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Daniel Rodriguez. This fight is I can't say I hate the bout. Both guys are chinny, but um you got the corpse of D Rod and kind of the corpse of Santiago Ponzinibbio. Ponzi has been hurt decently bad in like his last 4 or 5 fights, like genuinely hurt, and then somehow comes up to win some of them. But Daniel Rodriguez getting outstruck by like Kelvin Gastelum and um well obviously he's not gonna knock Kelvin Gastelum out, but it just not a lot that I like on the D Rod side. He is a dog. He's probably moving at plus money, more plus money, plus 120 right now. So Ponzi's getting to a bigger favor. I liked it more at Pick'em, and it's actually where I took it earlier in the week. Um, Personally, I have a 2-leg parlay with Santiago Ponzinibbio money line and Rodrigo Nascimento, who cashed last night for us in PFL. But we have minus 150. We're starting to get towards the line that I'm not liking for Ponzi. I think that a way you can attack this bout is Ponzi's chinny. He's been hurt in almost all of his fights recently. Danny Rodriguez, not really any head movement, a slouch. He reaches for his punches. Ponzi's probably gonna come out the gates with some juice, like he usually does. I see a lot of people taking this to go the distance, but in my personal opinion, I'm not sure if I'm placing this in a wager yet. But certainly from just a view standpoint, if you look at the method of victory, just overall how fight will end, and you take the knockout at plus 180, you got both guys covered. I don't know if these two knuckleheads last 3 rounds, and I don't think anyone's getting subbed. Point is
Listen,
minus
Cat.
190. I don't get it. I just think one of these guys is getting slept.
Listen, Cat.
I have
You ever
Ponzi.
seen?
I hold up. I
You
have
ever seen?
Ponzi as my lean, but I don't know. Continue what you were saying.
You ever seen Ponzinibbio before? You ever see his ears?
Yeah,
He looks like a guy that just came out of the Argentine jungle. There's a bunch of dead predators laying around in there, and he just walked out, and now they got to go in and get the predator bodies because Ponzinibbio took them all out for the government. This guy, and then you got Rodriguez. Listen, followed this guy his whole career. He's really been letting me down lately. He has not evolved. Joe Schilling is considered, and we used to be boys on Instagram, and he was cool because I was watching him fight Muay Thai. I believe it was a Bellator and K1 show combined, or maybe Bellator just had its own Muay Thai. I really need to look it up. It might have just been kickboxing, but it was years ago. It was when Bellator first came on TV. Joe Schilling's hailed as the best American Muay Thai fighter, well, was of we'll call it the 2010s. Erod and Joe Schilling they're they're like how Masvidal and Colby used to be. Like, and every time you see Daniel Rodriguez fight, you see Joe Schilling in his corner, and Joe Schilling's telling him to do this and that. Unfortunately, Daniel Rodriguez has always had a weight problem. He's always struggled getting down weight. He's missed weight numerous times. He naturally is a bigger guy. I can't remember once, and I've cashed on D Rod and I've lost on D Rod. I can't remember once where I said, you know what, he really looks like he changed his diet and evolved and this and that. So then we go to his fight game. Like I the he does not do the stuff. No, I thought, being best friends with Joe Schilling and training together all the time, over time, D Rod would develop these different like kicks and some of the stuff that Joe does in the clinch with the elbows, and he doesn't. He's just like a straight up like boxer, banger, brawler. I mean, he knows how to move his head well and deliver a thud, but like he hasn't evolved his game at all. Like Ponzin, the name of the game here is fight strategy. It's not fight IQ, it's fight strategy. Because Ponzi can get lured into a brawl and lose his cool and lose his head. Erod can choose to take leg kicks, not defend takedowns well, and you know, like what he's gonna have to do is he's gonna have to crowd Ponzi and really thump on him, or get him in the middle of the center of the ring, octagon. Sorry, I got boxing on here too. I'm looking at my TV. Get him in the middle of the octagon, and really, I'm talking like they're in the middle, and really, put some good boxing combinations on Ponzi, and Ponzi's chin fails. But like I think wholeheartedly, and like I just gave that whole rant, how I've followed both of these guys for so long. Man, I bet Mike Perry in 2018, 2019, 2018 to beat Ponzinibbio, and that didn't come. I'm so familiar. And the variable here is Rodriguez has never changed. He still has the same style. It's one dimensional, and it only works against people who either bite into it or are not as high level or skilled. So as long as Ponzinibbio doesn't lose his cool or his game plan, I think he's gonna kick D-Rod's legs apart, and there'll be some exchanges, with punches, and I think they'll both rip on each other. But then if Ponzinibbio and D-Rod's always had a bad gas tank, if Ponzinibbio starts grappling him, and he is the veteran, you give fight IQ to one or the other, I give it to Ponzinibbio. But there's just that little, if you get hit with a big punch, you want to get it back, and he does get dropped. But I think Ponzinibbio being so much more well rounded, like I'm talking volumes here, more well rounded, and I just think that is going to be the deciding factor. And does he knock D-Rod out? I mean, there's a good chance. So there's a good chance. I mean, there's a good chance Ponzinibbio gets D-Rod out of there. I'm I'm really split on whether somebody gets a finish or not, but I think D-Rod's going to get his legs chewed the hell up, and Ponzinibbio's going to grapple, and then he's going to either get him out of there or he's going to win by decision. I don't see Daniel Rodriguez winning this fight unless they're literally toe to toe in the square in the middle of the octagon, like squared up, and he can land some power combination on Ponzinibbio. But I don't think Ponzinibbio is going to play that game. So
All right. Yeah, I probably lean Ponzi too. So we're both on Ponzi here. You're split on the finish. I think there's value on a finish here by either guy. You get almost 2-1, and you don't have to worry about someone winning. I think it's gonna be a slugfest. I think Ponzi might stay on the outside, maybe do some clinches and stuff. But yeah, we're going with Ponzi here. I'll move on to the next fight here. We got the co-main event: Rainer de Ritter, RDR versus Bo
We'll
Nickel.
oh well, now I'm kind of hurt. When you ever see Daniel Rodriguez throw a leg kick? You don't throw leg kicks. Say
Yeah,
just say Ponzinibbio is going to kick him.
yeah. I
You
think
agree with me?
no, I know I agree with you. He's more well rounded. I just think these guys are gonna go in
All
here
right.
like it's fucking Cage Warriors.
I also can see that. I just wanted you say that Ponzinibbio is going to kick Daniel Rodriguez because in following that man's whole career, that motherfucker never used any of the kicking stuff that his best friend and they were living together at one point. I mean, you got the most dangerous American Muay Thai guy that ever lived of like the 20. I mean, stuff's probably broken now because it's 2025. We're talking back 2012, 2013, 14, 15. Joe Schilling was he went over there and got the headdress and the things on the arms and the stadium. They don't even have a roof on the stadium. There's 25,000 people in there and people are Muay Thai fighting. All right, but Daniel Rodriguez never threw a fucking leg kick, so he's gonna get his legs kicked. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm a
That's why
Ponzi.
they call me Unc. You know Uncle Joey Diaz. It's like Unc MMA. Like you know what I mean. I'm just saying the fucking obvious here. Your roommate. Hey buddy. Hey my roommate. Hey my housemate. My best friend. Best American Muay Thai guy ever. You can teach me how to throw a kick. 10 years later, still waiting.
All right.
All
Yeah,
right.
I agree with you though, because yeah, you got this guy who's perfecting on kicks and you don't throw any. He's just a slugger. Bar brawl incoming, in my opinion. And we'll go over to the next fight, which is an interesting bout. A lot of people are on Randy Ritter here against Bo Nickel. They think he's getting fraud checked, the former double champ, who's only lost to Anatoly. Um, he looked all right in his last bout against. Oh, no, he looked good against Kevin Holland. That's when you said that Kevin Holland should have his black belt back. Um, but
Yeah, you should.
Randy
I still have a
Ritter's
petition.
Randy Ritter Randy Ritter he comes out he's big in the cage. I remember there was like some type of organization there tracking weights on fight night, and he was like 20 pounds more than Kevin Holland. It was pretty crazy. I don't think he employs his grappling in this one. I don't think he can get Bo down. I think Bo's gonna strike with him, and I think if Bo wants to, Bo's been in there and active in the grappling and jujitsu scene. Rolled around in a contested. He survived with Gordon Ryan, and there's a story that I
Oh,
don't know if I buy it here. I don't know if I buy this story, but supposedly when he first started, he's a white belt or whatever. Never did BJJ. Went into a gym, beat all the white belts, then went beat all like the purple belts, beat all the supposedly beat all the brown belts, and then went and was rolling around, lost to survive into a black belt. I don't know if I buy that, but I think he can handle himself against Randy Ritter here on the ground, where the biggest thing's his sub. I think Rainer de Ritter, his aggressive style may make this fight slightly different than the Craig fight. I think he might force more action. Bo Nickel, they both don't have great striking, but I'd probably slightly give it to Nickel. Um, I think, yeah, I think Bo's live for a knockout here. I'm not banking on it. My official prediction is probably going to be Bo Nickel by decision. I don't think he loses the decision. Like no matter if he lost the fight or not, I don't think he loses the decision. And yeah, I think he can do more. I think he's a little bit better, and I don't think that. But Ritter to Ritter, his biggest threat would be the jujitsu and stuff. But a lot of his jujitsu that you see him getting finishes or getting people in subs is through like offensive type of like wrestling where he's putting his weight on top of people and like controlling and using subs from like top mount and shit. He's not over here off his back hitting defensive subs, throwing triangles up and stuff like that. And I don't think he's going to be at an offensive position against Bo Nickel pretty much at all in the grappling exchanges. So, and he's taller, 3 inches taller. I think Bo Nickel could probably get him down whenever he wants, possibly. Bo Nickel's takedown lands at like 1.5. Don't know how to think about that. I don't know if Bo's gonna try to strike or whatnot because he got a lot of shit for how he fought against Paul Craig. But Paul Craig's a lot more devious off his back than Rainer de Ritter is. So I'm gonna go with Bo Nickel here. The line's a little juiced. I think round two's gonna start. That's a way to go about it, or like an over 1.5, or maybe if you take Bo by decision at plus 200, um, something like that. Maybe Bo round three, or decision on Fanduel together. Let me see what that's at. That might get you to plus numbers on that. Probably will get you plus numbers on that. Yeah, if you take Bo Nickel on FanDuel, if you go to the round props and then alt round betting, you take Bo Nickel by round three or decision, you get plus 135 odds. Maybe because Rainer does have a questionable gas tank. I think Bo maybe can get a third round TKO or get the decision victory. So yeah, I'm not a huge Bo guy, but a lot of people were a couple months ago were saying that this guy could beat fucking Kamza. So
Yeah, in an alternate
yeah,
universe.
be realistic here. I think he can beat Rainer de Ritter, and I think he will.
So in an evil world, Bo Nichols, he's very. I mean, to be a national champion, I guess you have to be very confident, but like, I mean, I don't know. Nothing will make me a professional, but I would say that I have a good personal sense of what's confidence and then just what's plain cockiness, and it's really on Bo, man. Because as good as Bo's jiu-jitsu is, I mean, you bring up the infamous Gordon Ryan match where they really were trying. It's not like they were screwing around, and he did pretty damn well. Um, but if oh, I mean, I've seen his interviews, I've seen his clips, I've seen the way he talks about himself, and the way he can do this and do that, and like, I mean, I guess you have to have confidence if you want to be a world champion, but like, if he wants to engage with the Ritter, it's called playing the game, man. Because you, yeah, you're good at jiu-jitsu and you are a really, really good, world class wrestler. But like, it's so easy now. You're in a fight to get caught up in some weird hold or something, and you don't know what to do. Like Bo's scramble ability will save him, I believe, no matter what, because when he does hit the mat, he does not stop. Like he got somebody. I don't remember who he fought, but he went from arm bar to triangle to arm, and then he tapped. They got that tap, and then there was another guy he took down, and he worked from side mount, and then was trying a Von Flu choke, and then an arm triangle, and he got it. So, but if he if he wants to if he wants to play the game all 3 rounds and like wrestle with the Ritter, like I said, this is an evil world. If if he wants to play the game and wrestle with the Ritter, I could see him getting wrapped up and getting into some trouble. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I think he's going to be conservative and stay on the outside, pick his shots, strike. Maybe he'll shoot a takedown if he sees an opening. Do I think that he's gonna really try to wrestle though and like do all that? No. But you always got to put out there. How would he lose? He loses by over confidently trying to wrestle Renier Ritter and play the jiu-jitsu game. So it'll be really interesting to see what Bo does here because, like, all right, one thing is his last fight, his coaches did tell him like, oh, sorry, allergy season here in Pennsylvania. So, I mean, sorry, Des Moines, allergy season carrying over to Des Moines, from Pennsylvania. They just don't stop. But the thing here though is like, if Bo tries to wrestle Ritter and like really is like on it and trying to prove a point, then he might get in something that in a fight situation he's not comfortable with. And DeRitter has had his fair share of fights just in other organizations and stuff. Bo still is just 7-0. He's had 7 fights, and half of those we've seen on Dana White Contender Series or the actual UFC. And like I said, last fight he talked about listening to his coaches, not engaging, only striking, and not wanting to play into Paul Craig's game. So I believe the same thing happens here, but he also is very, very, very like confident and cocky at the same time. So trying to prove a point in that evil world scenario would get him subbed possibly.
Oh
But
shit.
I don't think that happens. I'm just saying.
Oh shit, Mo's here. Hold on, I'm about to invite him.
Oh, all right.
See if he can close up with some of his stuff.
Yeah.
Mo just came in. Let me send him the invite to
Yo,
Yo.
Yo.
Yeah,
yo, what's up?
we've been on for a little bit. We're at like the co-main right now. Just talking about
I was busy all day. I literally just opened the Discord.
all good, man, all good. But we're gonna uh before we move on, you got any big reads you want to say for any of the fights or?
Can I close my Discord and the shit will still be open so I
Yeah,
can.
I think so. Just don't shut the app.
Okay, yeah, it works. So my like lock of the entire card is Azamat Bokev. I think he's gonna literally dismantle Ryan Loder. Ryan Loder is good with wrestling and everything, and the way he got that what was it called again? In the contender series when he got the crucifix,
Oh yeah,
he destroyed Valentine. He destroyed him, but that's on Valentine. We seen what a 5'2" Dorian Finney Smith can do to him. You know what I mean? So I think Azamat Bokev is gonna literally destroy him, but I think he gets it done by decision
decision.
because of the wrestling. Yeah, because of the wrestling. So I like the over 2.5 in that match for even odds, but then I also like Bokev by decision plus 165. That's what I really like this
Yeah.
card.
For what we were looking at for that fight, I personally for me, I'm not running to the counter for that fight. I don't think the value's there. I think this is a fight like when you watch. What just scared me. I liked Bokoyev when I first saw the lines and stuff, but when I looked at that Dylan Butka fight in LFA versus Dylan Butka versus Bokoyev, I feel like an interim
That's
belt.
that's that's what made me think it's gonna go to decision. That
Yeah,
fight right there.
he made Dylan Butka
Because
look like a
because
striker.
Yeah, because also Budka was mixing in the wrestling. That's what was opening up the striking for him. But I don't think Brian Loder's hands are good like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
He didn't for at least he didn't show anything from the fights I
yeah, that's what
watched.
I
You know
said.
what I
It's
mean?
it's a
He didn't
question
train.
mark on his striking. The
Dude,
question.
Yeah,
I
question mark.
said Ryan Loder sucks since back in the day. He fought. I thought it was Team Alpha Male had a thing, but Mike reminded me it was Uriah Faber had an MMA event. It was like 12 years ago or 10 years ago or something like that. And Ryan Loder fought on there, and he was supposed to be the shit. Or maybe it wasn't that long ago. I don't know. It was a year, but Ryan Loder was supposed to be the shit. He was fighting on Uriah Faber's fight thing, and he didn't do nothing then. He filtered it in the LFA, and then he finally made it in 2024. What is it? 5 years later or something? I don't know.
Listen, I'm high on Azamat Bokoyev, bro. Everybody thought Zachary Reese was gonna beat him. I
Yeah,
was stuck on Azamat. I was like, bro, he's gonna fucking destroy this
he's
guy.
very well rounded and he has some power. I think he could actually get a
Yeah,
knockout here. I don't
The
know.
way
I
he
don't.
slant, yeah. I think the knockout is possible too, but I just think because of that Dylan Butker fight, it goes to the distance because I
Yeah,
think he's gonna in the wrestling. They're gonna clinch a couple of rounds. You know what I mean?
I'm
They're
just
gonna waste
curious
some
to
time.
see the. Yeah, I think G stand or UncMMA touched on this earlier. Um, that
Sorry, it was 2022. So 3 years later, he finally made it to the UFC. But I thought Ryan Loder sucked then. Go
yeah,
ahead.
but I just think it's a question mark with the striking of Ryan Loder. I think he might get knocked out. I think it might go to decision. You could probably I don't know where you can get the value with Azamat Bokev though. I'm not paying minus 400 for a guy who went to split
I
decision
think
with
I
someone
I
he's
think
gonna
he
beat in the UFC.
I think he's a great parlay piece. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I think he's a lock for a parlay piece. If you
All
want
right.
to be honest,
What do you uh what do you think your lock would be? It doesn't really matter the odds on it. Like who do you think's not losing for sure?
Not losing for sure.
yeah, that's why I think he's not losing for sure.
I think mine is Gillian Robertson.
I
I don't
like her a lot.
I we were just
I
looking
like
at we were
I
looking
like
at
her
the
a lot. I
odds.
just feel like Marina Rodriguez's striking is so dangerous that if Jillian Robertson doesn't grapple right away, she's cooked.
I just think
Like
that Marina Rodriguez
I
has
could
been
see,
taken down so much in her career. It's just I think it's automatic. Like if I pull up the numbers right now, you're gonna be astounded. Let me get them up right now.
did the takedown props drop for her?
Yeah, it's at 2.5. I don't know how I feel about that
Yeah,
because
I thought it was gonna be at that, and I'm not gonna lie, I would take that because Marina Rodriguez's takedown
it's
defense is
terrible.
fucking dog
If you
shit.
look right here, look, I'm looking at her stats right now. Marina Rodriguez has been taken down in 11 consecutive fights.
The one thing I can say about her is that she can't get submitted. I don't think Jillian gets
Yeah,
a submission. I
um,
think if she gets a finish, it's a ground and
TKO.
pound.
Yeah, I actually placed a bet already. I saw the odds on Bet365. It was really good value. Plus 1,200 for the TKO.
Plus
So
1,200. That's amazing odds.
yeah, that's why I had
That's.
to.
I think it was at plus 800. I was watching the
Yeah,
Teller video.
On DraftKings it's around plus 800, plus 900, but I went on Bet365 plus 1,200. I locked it in at. So
Oh, I'm not gonna
that's
complain.
So you took Jillian Robertson. So I'm gonna take
Yeah, she's plus 900 now on DraftKings.
what the knockout.
the sub.
No, the knockout.
Robertson KO plus 900.
Oh, okay,
But oh wait, one
okay.
more thing that we looked at was I don't know if you can
I
hit.
also I also like the under 2.5 that fight
Yeah,
plus
she. I
200.
think the finish could be live. And one thing I looked at was Gillian Robertson plus the same game parlay on DraftKings. I guess it depends by your region, but if you go Gillian Robertson in over 4.5 minutes, you get
I don't have that.
yeah minus 160 for those who have that.
You have same game parlays,
Yeah,
Mo.
but his doesn't
Yeah,
have the
yeah, I have
minutes or
same game.
seconds.
Yeah,
I have same. I'm looking at the same game right now. I'm trying to see what I
you
can
don't
do
got
against
the
it.
you don't got the minutes though,
No, I only have the rounds.
Do they have a half round on
because
there? Do they
Let's
have?
you
see.
got a
Yeah,
half.
Jillian Robertson with over 1.5 rounds, and her money line is minus 140.
I like the. I don't know about the over 1.5, but
Yeah, I
if we're
don't like
gonna,
the over 1.5.
I like round two to start. Maybe I don't know if they have that, but like we have the minute and second prop, so it's like easier for us to go. But I'd usually do it like if you go over 4.5 minutes in Jillian Robertson, if someone has that, that's minus 160 right there, and you're pretty much taking her to win and round two to start, which I like. But
Yeah,
what's your lock, Unc?
yeah. Well, no, just following up what you said. Like I'm basically like a statistician, so me and Mike worked out that you can either take the minutes or take like the over 0.5 rounds, 1.5 rounds. And if you work out the time and the minutes, the odds are better. And
Yeah,
DraftKings don't know about it.
the
But
second 2.5 minutes,
maybe after they hear
and
this, we'll get cooked.
two and a
Who
half
knows?
minutes and a half
I don't
round.
know, yo. I'm not gonna lie. these minus 238s, minus 250s, they scare me, bro.
Yeah.
Especially in USC.
Yeah.
I like Gillian Robertson a lot though. I think she's my lock.
I do like her a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I do like her a
All
lot.
right. So you took her. So like my only two left that I really have are like probably Ponzi, but like I said, I think there's the window open for Rodriguez to possibly, if they're standing in the square center, or if they're standing squared up, toe to toe, middle of the octagon, small chance that Rodriguez could get off on Ponzi. But I'm not gonna take that though. Like I, I'll have to figure it out. I
I'm
mean, I
not gonna
don't.
lie. I kind of shifted for that fight to plus 3.5 for Rodriguez.
Plus three and a
Okay,
half.
I could, I think that's a great pick, Mo.
Yeah,
I
I like.
that's what I've been shifting to for like my parlays, honestly.
You think that like you don't think D-Rod can get finished?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I've been watching back some fights, and he
Yeah.
hasn't been getting finished lately, bro.
Yeah. I th- I I think there's value. I don't know if he gets finished. Ponzi
he
has
he
no
fights like
chin.
a fucking he fights like a literal street guy, but like I don't know, bro.
He's like,
See, I
yeah.
I,
fall.
I said it's gonna be
Yeah,
like
he's
watching Cage Warriors.
yeah,
I
like the only guy to finish him with strikes is Ian Gary, and that's kind of embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah, he hit him with a head kick.
yeah, I was on some crazy shit, but
Yeah, that was like some lucky shit, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
follow.
even Jiang Liang Li didn't finish him, and everybody talks about that nigga's power.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rodriguez's footwork is
Hold on, let me
awful. I
see.
mean,
Let me see the stats. Yeah, it is horrible. Let me see the stats on this Rodriguez fight
my well,
with Dolby.
while
Let
Mo's
me
looking that up though, my pick, because there isn't much left to go here, is I'm gonna take Ivana Petrovic,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her
but
a
her,
lot.
If
but
you
her
take
money line.
if you're taking
Oh,
R3
go.
locks right here, all right, you keep going. I'm gonna look up the odds quick for what R3 locks would be to
All
get.
right. So her money line's minus 250, so you have to play around with it. But like we touched on it at the beginning of the video, we got Mo in the end of the video, but like, I'm pretty good at jujitsu consulting, and Juliana Miller, I mean, I watched her lose to Hardy's wife and other people, and just Ivana Petrovic is a way better fighter all the way around. And I mean, even if Juliana Miller does want to play the jiu-jitsu game, I don't really think that she finishes her. So
I think Ivana gets it done by decision plus 100.
that's what that's probably what's going to be
I
my bet.
also I
Yeah, that
also
was
want
my
to I
favorite too.
also I also want to sprinkle Ivana KO by plus 800 just in case.
Yeah, I
Just
think Ivana could
just
get it
because
ground and
those
pound.
odds on the only reason why I'm saying that is because the minus 250 on the over 2.5, and then the minus 250 on Ivana. I don't know. I feel
How
like
I'm
something's gonna
playing,
happen, and it's also the first fight of the night. You know what I mean? They try to make those first fight of the nights exciting.
yeah, the way that I'm playing the Ivana thing that I already have locked in actually. Ivana double chance and round two, the knockout and decision double chance and round two to start gets you to minus 110.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
at about you're
I
at
can't
about
make
even
same
odds.
game parlays like that, but that's definitely a solid
Yeah,
one
you
right
said
there.
you're banned on Fanduel, right?
No, no, I'm drafting.
You have Fanduel?
Nah, it's unbanned.
Oh, yeah, it's on Fanduel that I got that. Um, Bet365, you could take the over. You could take the same thing with over 1.5, but I rather the round two to start. You get that at even odds pretty much instead of paying the 250 juice for her straight. Or you can take just a double chance, the knockout decision, and you get it at minus 140. So I don't think she subs
That's that.
Juliana Miller.
I don't think she subs her either. I'm about to check that out.
But minus 140, I actually already have that. I have
Did
that
you guys
placed.
talk about the Cameron Smotherman
Yeah, we
versus Series 6 fight?
went through pretty much everything. We're both we're not in love with the fight overall, but we pretty much came to the thing that all right. So City, he's if anyone's gonna grapple, he could, even though he's not high level. His one takedown's like minus one or minus 115. If you want to take a shot there, I don't love it, but it's
I don't
there.
know. I don't. I think it's gonna stay on the feet.
Yeah, so do I, and
I
that's
think
why I think Smotherman is gonna
I
piece him
think
up.
I think this fight right here is exactly the same fight as the Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Simon fight.
Yeah,
That's what
I
this
think
fight
that
reminds me of.
I think we said that we think Smotherman what gave me the cause at first I'm split. I don't value really much anyone they fought besides Jake Hadley. I think that that's aging
I
well.
think Cameron Smotherman beat the shit out of Hadley,
Yeah,
even without that point
yeah,
taken away.
that's what I'm saying. It's
And
that's
Jake Hadley
aging
just had
well.
an amazing performance on the
Yeah,
PFL.
that's why I said it's aging well, and that's what overall put me over the top to take the dog in this position. Um if you take on the money line, and then Unk found some like degenerate prop if you just want to throw some change on it. If you take Cameron Smotherman by split decision, you get it at plus 900.
That's actually pretty good. I honestly, the way I think this fight should be ran from what happened last week, I think Series City decision only. Bet voids if anything, but then also take Cameron Simon round one, round two. But honestly, I'm just gonna take Cameron Simon plus 120 money line, and then for the parlays, I'm gonna put plus 3.5 Smotherman minus 180.
I do like this
I'm
the
on the
plus 3.5 too. Yeah, I like that as a parlay piece.
I'm on I'm undecided with what I'm taking, but yeah, like I said, y'all just got a couple dollars and went through out there. The split decisions, they're buku
Yeah,
money.
Series City is a split decision master.
Yeah, do you
Um,
have another? Do you have any other fights that you want to touch on? Because we went through everyone besides the main event.
yeah, you came
Uh,
in at the end, man. We're out here in Des Moines. The campfire's dying down. It's like that episode of SpongeBob where he's out in the middle of nowhere and there's fucking tumbleweeds blowing around. I can't believe they put a UFC out here.
I think Misha Tate gets the
Yeah,
victory, but I don't know. Everybody's
we
been
were both
like,
on Misha Tate as well.
everybody's trying to convince me Yana Santos is gonna win, and I just don't see
Unk
it.
was actually fairly. I said like, yeah, I'm not running to the teller, or yeah, I'm not running to the books to go place this bet. But I do like Misha
I'm
Tate.
honestly gonna place a live bet on that fight. I'm not gonna take anything pre-fight besides the plus 3.5 Yana Santos.
Yeah,
That's all I took pre-fight. But I just took it for a moonshot parlay, like a plus
yeah,
fucking 25,000 parlay.
yeah. Unk said that she should handle it with. He had a decent degree of confidence on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I think
I
Misha
mean,
Tate gets the takedowns. Honestly,
Yeah, that's what it is.
what is her takedown tops at?
I think hers was at 2.5. I don't know if they are out. I might be thinking about another fighter. I'm pulling them up right now.
They're at over 1.5 minus 225. Damn.
Jesus, it's gonna correct.
Yeah,
It's gonna go up a line. That's gonna go up to 2.5 by tomorrow.
yeah. It definitely should.
Um,
yeah, yeah,
I think she gets 3 takedowns.
yeah, but yeah, Yana, there's no way that she's winning. I mean, should have to use a teep kick and constant, one twos, and Misha Tate just is gonna grab. She just has the
You're gonna have to
offensive.
throw that knee up the middle. Honestly, that's what it'll
Oh
take.
yeah, she does. She does kind of. Yeah, she's got that knee too. But
Juliana
I
Miller.
just,
It's my bad for interrupting, but I just heard they just dropped more props for the takedowns and stuff. Like they just dropped the rest of the fights. One I'm already looking at right now off rip that I might take. Quang Lee one takedown is minus 170. I know it's a little juiced, but what the fuck else is he gonna do? He's not gonna stand up and
I'm
stretch.
not gonna lie. Gaston Bolano's takedown defense against Cortavius Romeus was looking elite, bro. I had Romeus
Elite,
that fight.
elite. Do you what, bro?
He
He got
made
put
me
on his
eat
neck.
my words,
He got put on his neck multiple
bro. He
times in
beat
that
the shit
fight.
out of him. He beat the shit out of him badly, and
Cortavius had him in bad
I
positions.
was upset.
Watching
I
that fight,
thought Cortavius was gonna go in there, pick that nigga up, slam
he
him on his
did.
neck,
He did.
and
He really,
nah,
he
bro.
dead ass did. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna put. I might even link it in this video when I post it on YouTube. He picks him up, and I was at first saying the same thing. Yo, this takedown defense is pretty good. And then he gets picked up and he slams the shit out of Bolanos more than once. He had a body triangle on him. He almost knocked him out. If you look right before the end of the, I think it was the first or the second round, He gets clipped, does the chicken dance, falls to the ground, gets put in a sub, and then gets saved by the bell. And then the next round, Quatavius has negative fight IQ in my opinion. So I think Quang Lee's a better submission threat in terms of fight IQ. Then he's not a better takedown artist than Quatavius. Quatavius has a
Yeah,
natural
that's the thing.
strength.
That's where it's gonna fuck Quang Lee. I think Gaston Bolanos is gonna light him up.
Yeah, I could see the angle.
Listen. I personally have Gaston Bolanos in every single parlay. So if he loses, I'm gonna be fucking tight.
Yeah, Quang Lee was
I
Yeah,
think he
Quang
destroys Quang Lee.
Quang Lee's
and
one of
I
my
per,
favorite
and I
dogs.
and I personally said that Quang Lee doesn't know how to take doesn't know how to take damage well. It's not like he like shoulder rolls or
Yeah,
knows
his
how to.
defense is pretty sus.
Yeah, so I mean, he's gonna. That was my prediction was he was gonna get thumped on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
stand up.
Gaston
I'm gonna go
Bolanos
out
destroys
on my
him.
shield. I'm gonna take Quang Lee, and I like Quang Lee by sub 8-1. He had Gutierrez and multiple body triangles, took the back from standing. I think Bolanos has worse submission defense than Chris Gutierrez, and I think 8-1 on that is pretty disgraceful. Quang Lee one takedown minus 170. I'm most likely gonna play that if court like one takedown. This fight, like I don't think he's getting knocked out in the first round. Quang Lee. Quang Lee's not like a low IQ fighter. Yeah, he's more well
No,
rounded
I
than
wouldn't say first round knockout, but I think Gaston Bolanos is gonna end up finishing second, third round.
yeah, I don't I'm not gonna say I can't see the knockout. I said earlier that that's a play that could happen. That's like the
Yeah,
most
bro.
popular.
These odds for Bolaños round two and round three are fucking amazing. 850 for round two, 1200 for round three.
Yeah, I like those too. What do you like for the Mason Jones Jeremy Stevens fight?
I think Mason Jones is gonna show him that this is MMA, not bare knuckle
Do you
boxing.
think he's gonna wrestle?
Yes.
So you think over 1.5 takedowns at minus 150 is an alright play?
Wait. Let me see it.
Over
Hold
1.5 at minus 150. Mason Jones.
It's possible. It's possible because Jeremy Stevens, he has a good chin. Not gonna lie, he has a pretty good chin. But I think Mason Jones is gonna win by ground and pound KO. That's
Yeah,
how I
I
think
think I
he's gonna
said the
win.
same thing.
Or I think he's gonna win by submission from like opening him up with the ground and pound. It's gonna open up his neck.
Um, it was just pretty much the discussion was he'd have to have super low IQ to decide to just stand there and get into a boxing match.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
if he doesn't wrestle, low key Jeremy Stevens is live.
Yeah, I almost threw like $100 on Jeremy Stevens plus 800 knockout just in case, but
I think
I don't know. I backed out.
Unk's top play, which I kind of agreed with, it was just method of victory knockout, not for either fighter, just for like the both of them. Fight to end by knockout at plus 140.
Yeah, that is a good bet. I do not think this fight goes the distance.
Yeah, the under two and a
Jeremy
half.
Steven,
It's
Jeremy Steven.
listen. This could be one of those fights that fuck us where we all think it's not gonna go the distance and it does go the distance. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I could see
Yeah,
it go the
Jeremy
distance, but
Stevens.
probably not.
Because the
I could.
over 2.5 is at even odds, bro. Minus 105, under 125. I mean, under 2.5, minus 125. So I don't know. I feel like this could be a potential trap with the rounds and stuff.
Yeah.
See, Jeremy Stevens gets cut easy, and I mean, Mo, you know anything about this Wales dude? His wrestling? You said he wrestles.
He he's mainly like a striker, but he definitely wrestles. Like he could wrestle. Like look, let me go to his stats right now. Tell you how many times he's gotten takedowns in each of his fights.
Because what I said is he's either gonna wrestle him, and Jeremy Stevens will get beat down on the ground like the other 5 or 6
Put
times
it
he
this
lost.
way. Put it this way.
UFC.
In Mason Jones's fight against David Onama, he took down Onama 8 times to Onama 0.
Okay, shit.
And
So
then
when we logged on here, we didn't really put much emphasis into the stats. I mean, it was pretty much Jeremy Stevens was winning by KO, or the other cat was winning by takedown and ground and pound.
8
yeah,
takedowns against David Onama,
listen,
yeah.
I agree because Mason Jones also took down another opponent, Alan Patrick. I have no idea who that is, 2 times, but it ended up being a no contest. He took down Mike Davis once, but Mike Davis took him down 3 times. He still ended up outstriking him, but he lost.
But he wrestles.
Yeah, he wrestles. What's it called? Ludovic Klein actually dropped him in their last fight, but it was still a close fight.
Yeah, and I value Ludwig Klein somewhat
I think
high.
Ludovic Klein is one of the best unranked prospects in the
Yeah,
fucking UFC.
he's good. I like Ludwig Klein, so that loss I think is a high value loss. But
Yeah, and it's not a bad loss. Like
no,
it's 43 strikes to 50 strikes total. He got knocked down once. That's what made him lose.
yeah, I went to decision with Ludwig Klein, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and Ludovic Klein held him on the cage with clinch for
So I
six
really
minutes.
do. Now that I see the David Onama eight takedowns and stuff, and he's not gonna try to stand here with Jeremy Stevens if he has any type of IQ. Like, yeah, let's Jeremy Stevens hardest hit in 145.
My
Or go
thing
to
is that
boxing.
he has zero sub. My bad, Scott. He has zero sub attempts in all of his fights. That's the one thing
Yeah,
I don't like.
I don't like this. I don't
So
like the sub either though. I
I
don't like the
definitely
sub.
see a ground and pound.
Yeah, I like the what Unk said about either the fight ended by knockout at plus 140 or I like that minus 150 over. I guarantee that line's
I'm
worse
not gonna
tomorrow.
lie, bro.
Over
I
one and
feel
a
like
half
they're trying to
takedowns.
trap us.
I'm
I
not
feel
taking
like
the
they're
money
trying to
line.
trap.
Both said if you're taking Mason Jones money line, you might as well go bet on the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. Like genuinely,
On the what?
the Kentucky Derby, the horse races.
Oh. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I really think Mason Jones is gonna win, but like I think they're gonna try to get us here, bro. All of his fucking fights in the UFC went to decision. I think I really and I'm not gonna lie, you guys like they're trying to hype up Jeremy Stevens, like oh hardest hitter, 145 or blah blah blah. Bro, you look at most of his fights, most of them shits go to decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
he
when he
gets
knocks people out,
cut.
they don't fucking move.
He gets cut bad, and against this dude, he just came off a bare knuckle fight. Like he's gonna either sleep somebody or he's gonna get cut the fuck up, and it's gonna be damage and blood everywhere, and I don't know. Yeah, there's a very small chance of it going to the judges, but like I'm not just saying that. Jeremy Stevens' his whole career. I mean, you can go back and find clips. He took like a random elbow or a random I don't know like overhand, and he gets cut easy. He bleeds easy. So like if this wrestling kid gets him on the ground and even puts a half baby elbow on him even from half mount or something, he can cut him open, and then it's a whole different ball game. Like y'all really feel that the UFC's pushing Jeremy Stevens? I think this was like
I don't think they're pushing him at all. I don't think
so
they're
all
pushing
right.
him at all.
So like I in my opinion, it would be more of like, hey, let's I don't I'm not gonna go into like the whole like fight fixing and that too in depth, but like how many times y'all seen someone with a cut that's not that bad and they wave shit off, or somebody has too
Yeah,
much blood and it's a deciding factor in something, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
like I think it should be the Wales kid by KO or decision, or you take Jeremy Stevens by KO as an insurance. Like I think that should be the spread. But I can see the Wales kid getting the TKO off Jeremy Stevens just being cut up. And another thing, I don't think they really had a good relationship to be with him to begin with. The only reason why they brought him back is because he made such big money for the BKFC and was like, all right, well, let's give him like one or two more fights. But they're not pulling for him in this. I
And
just
isn't this his home city?
Yeah,
that
Isn't this,
I
yeah,
is
it
this
is.
his
Yeah, it
hometown?
is. It's like
all
a
right.
Yeah,
home. Yeah.
that's why they brought him back. I
Yeah,
think he's only on a one fight contract, I believe, just for this card.
just for this.
If he
Yeah.
wins, he'll
Yeah,
So
get
like,
signed back. If he wins.
yeah.
yeah, you all know how that business works. How many times like they got somebody that it's not the best relationship, they do this, and they don't give a shit if he gets cut open and they're in Des Moines. But Moines, however you say it, like the doctors out there, I'll tell you what, I guarantee you tomorrow we see some. If there's any type of doctor involvement, we see some weird shit. It's like the first time they had it in New York, Mo, you gotta agree with me. The first time they had it in New York, then they had to bring doctors in and shit. They didn't know when to stop something, when to let it go, how bad was a cut, how bad was this.
Yeah,
I remember the whole spiel. There was the
I
Nate
agree.
Diaz, there was the Diaz incident. There was other people that could have kept going. So I don't know. When's the last Des Moines? Like it's their fight crew. It's their people. So
The problem with this card I'm having is that I see a lot of these fights going the distance, and I feel like I'm wrong on some of them
Yeah,
because
yeah, I know what you
you know what
mean.
I mean. It's a fucking fight night, and
Oh,
it's in
yo,
this one. You want
yeah.
somebody to die.
Not to cut you off, but I was thinking about that Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos fight, and
Montel Jackson is an absolute lock.
what do you think it's
If I
gonna be? A
didn't
knockout?
if I didn't pick Azamat Bakoyev, I was picking Montel Jackson.
I personally, minus 240 is too steep for me, and like the read that
He
I
was
got,
minus 198
yeah, I
yesterday,
know,
but everybody's starting to jump on him, bro.
and I
He's
think the
he's gonna
values with
definitely
Marcos
destroy
now.
Daniel Marcos.
You think he's just gonna like he don't throw volume? You think he's just gonna like hit him like?
I think this is gonna fight is gonna primarily stay on the feet,
Yeah,
honestly.
I
And
think so too.
Montel Jackson, he's too quick, he's too precise. He's gonna be in and out. He's gonna be tagging him up. This guy Marcos is gonna get frustrated. He's gonna end up shooting. It's gonna get stuffed, and then Montel Jackson is just gonna put it on him, bro. I could just see that happening right now.
I'm not taking a result. I don't think Montel Jackson
I,
has
I,
value.
I think Montel Jackson by KO plus 350 is a great play, even though Marcos has a good chin.
I think that's the way he
But
wins. That's my opinion. I don't think he's winning a decision with Marcos. If I'm being realistic with you, I think that he don't throw enough volume. We were looking at his striking stats earlier, and they're so different. He's more of a guy who's methodical and he's waiting to find the shot, and he has the length and he's standing there and he's not throwing a ton. Like he has decisions, 3 round decisions where like there wasn't even a lot of ground time, and he has under like 30 strikes. So like he's not throwing a lot of volume. He's like you see his body language. He's not like aggressive. Yeah, he's a good striker and he has pinpoint. And he finds a shot. But if I'm looking at this fight, what I was gonna get to was so they have his striking prop pretty damn fucking high. Um, and I don't. I could see him winning by knockout. Yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna say I take Marcos at the value. At the value, I can't take two minus 240 for Montel Jackson. He's way too inactive. But
I
I
don't
like
even have the fighter props yet. What's his
I like his
strike
under.
bet?
I like his. I have it on Bet 365. I think it's the only place that has actual strikes. But under 74.5 strikes. He's only hit the over
Significant strikes or total
just
strikes?
total strikes. He's only hit that one time in his career, and it was 75 on the dot, and it was in like 2019 against some guy who has a 36% striking defense. So a guy who can't strike. Um, he's a methodical
He did
guy.
take that guy down 11 times, though.
I'm talking about yeah, the Felipe guy. Yeah, but the Felipe guy has
Yeah.
36% strike. He got if you look at the Felipe guy's resume, he was letting up 100 strikes to dudes that never won in the UFC type shit. So like he's getting punched on by everyone, punching bag,
No, I
literally.
know, but I'm saying he did take that guy down 11 times, so
Yeah, and I think
if
if
he's
he
not, if he's not
11,
primarily a striker, then he has to be a grappler, no? You know what I mean? And he has
yeah,
3 submission attempts on Jackson.
yeah, it's just yeah, and he's seen the Julio Arce fight too. He
But
didn't.
also, you also have to realize this part right here. Look, Montel Jackson has dropped Damon Blackshear. He's dropped Ronnie Yahya. He's dropped
Two
Julio
guys
Arce.
without good striking now. Those were two guys with no good striking. What you just named?
What I'm reading is that he's dropped every single person except Ricky Simone,
Yeah.
Brian Kelleher, which he submitted in the first round in 1 minute and 40 seconds, actually too. The other fight he didn't drop somebody was Andre Sukhamif. I've never heard of that guy in my life. but he outstruck him 64-30 and took him down 3 times.
Yeah.
Every single other fight in the UFC, he has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has 11 fights in the UFC. Out of 11 fights, 8 of those fights, he's dropped somebody.
Oh yeah, I could see him
So
dropping him, but his volume isn't
I
there.
think he's gonna
His
literally
volume's
kill
not
him.
there. I think no, I could see him winning. I'm saying that he's gonna throw less volume. He's gonna be getting his legs kicked.
Speed beats power. Precision beats speed. Montel Jackson loses.
I just have the
You
things that
think
I'm looking
Montel?
for. I have Montel Jackson under 74.5 strikes, or I have Daniel Marcos more strikes than Montel Jackson at minus 125. I think he'll have more strikes than him. He throws more kicks. Montel Jackson might knock him out, but it's going to be after he just took 10 meaningless leg kicks, but they count for strikes. He's going to be getting touched. He waits for the strike. He's going to be sitting there waiting to land that right hand. And he might land it. I won't doubt it. He's probably going to knock down
Honestly,
Marcos.
I think this fight ends by KO. Honestly,
So that would kind of help, too,
Daniel,
because I think he's going to be down on the
Marcos,
striking.
Daniel Marcus has dropped everybody except for Davy Grant, in which the fight I thought he lost. Um, he dropped Castaneda. He didn't drop Adrian Yanez though.
But if you look at Daniel Marcos' striking numbers compared to Montel Jackson, I think it's 4 of his fights in the UFC that over 80 strikes. And Montel Jackson has never had 80 strikes in his UFC career.
Yeah, so I see where you're coming from with that.
I think that even though he might find the shot, which is his way to win, in
I
my
think if
opinion.
Marcos wins this, he's gonna try to ride out a decision
Yeah,
victory and go for takedowns. But that's like his only path of
I don't
victory,
think he's gonna
honestly.
try. I think he's at a disadvantage in the grappling game, and he is shorter, so he might have the easier spot to take takedowns. I don't think he's gonna be able to, and I don't think that he has bad cardio. And usually the way that if you see Daniel Marcos losing a fight, it's usually a guy who's giving him a lot of volume and trying to make him gas out and try to make him make mistakes. Daniel Marco or Montel Jackson is like the opposite of that. He's sitting there waiting for you to make a mistake. So I think he can get put out. Yeah, I do think Daniel Marcos can get put out. But at the same time, let's say his chin does hold up, which it has for his whole career since he hasn't lost. I know not the best competition, but still at the same time, if he has a good chin and we're underestimating the chin, he's probably going to win a decision, and he's going to outstrike him in the meantime. So I think either fading the 74, I can't see Montel Jackson throwing 74.5 strikes. What is he going to be sitting in the pocket doing Muay Thai shit with the guy? Like I don't see it, and I don't see him getting more strikes than Daniel Marcos unless he knocks out Marcos very early. And I have not seen that Marcos is chinny, so I would have to ride with the fading the strikes from Montel Jackson, the volume, fading the volume. And if he doesn't
What I'm
find the
personally
shot,
gonna do is
yeah,
I'm taking Montel Jackson round 2 plus 800, Montel Jackson round 3 plus 1400, and
yeah,
I'm taking Montel Jackson just for a KO.
understandable.
I'm riding all 3 of
I
those.
think that's the way that he wins is by knockout. I think if they go to decision, I think Daniel Marcos is gonna win the fight. I think his more volume, unless Montel Jackson gets to his grappling somehow, because he isn't bad. He can get takedowns. So he is a taller guy, so it might be a little bit harder, but I think he can get like a
Damn,
couple
method of
trips.
victory for this fight is minus 185 for decision. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
because Daniel Marcos is a decision fighter. I think he does a lot of volume. I think he's going to have more volume than Montel Jackson. I'm not saying to take Daniel Marcos if you're listening to this, but I am kind of liking that under 74.5 strikes. He's only hit it once in his career.
Listen,
And
if you like Daniel Marcos, you might as well play the plus 3.5 minus 135.
yeah, I do like that too.
Because if it goes to decision, I think it's gonna be 29-28.
Yeah, let's touch on the main event, and that's the only fight we didn't touch on yet. We got Corey Sandhagen versus Davison Figueiredo. In my opinion, Corey Sandhagen looked pretty bad on the scales today. If you saw him, Figueiredo is fucking jacked. Whoever dropped those pictures of him looking fat like weeks ago or something, 100% was like lying. There's no way that those were his stats. But or that's what he looked like. I mean, oh shit, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
Oh, hold up.
you heard?
Yeah, hold up. My bad.
I'm. I can hear you, Mike. You're cutting out.
My bad. I clicked something on my laptop that made me like change complete screens. You hear me now? Yo.
Yeah.
All right, bet. But yeah, I think that Sanhagen gets a point victory in this one. Uh,
I like Sandhagen by decision, but I'm also gonna run Sandhagen round 4, round 5 KO.
um, there was another prop I was looking at. It's
Well, not
Sanhagen.
KO. Sorry. Round 4, round 5, just Corey Sandhagen.
But how they looked in the weigh-ins, I wouldn't fault someone for just taking a blind shot at Davison Figueiredo just by how he looked and just because of his history. But
Listen,
I
bro,
think,
when this fight was announced, I thought it was gonna be like minus 200, plus 140 type shit as the odds. These
yeah,
odds are dead ass ridiculous, and in my opinion, the value's on Figgy.
yeah, the value
Even
most
though,
definitely
even
is.
though, even though Figgy always has problems with taller opponents like Corey, but I don't know, the value's there, bro.
Yeah, I agree. If you take let's say, I think the fight's gonna go into the later rounds. If you take let's you take Corey Sandhagen and over 7.5 minutes or like over 1.5 rounds, you get it like minus 280 to minus 295 ish. Get that in a parlay piece. Or you can take his double chance, but that's kind of juice. I don't know. I don't know if you take the value. I like Corey Sandhagen under 2.5 takedowns. Um that's pretty high in my opinion.
Yeah, yo, the funny thing is that you say that, I completely agree with that. The only reason why I don't like that is because in the later rounds, I feel like he might just go for them.
Yeah. I could see like him getting trips and stuff to get him to that line. But
And Figgy actually has great fucking takedown defense. The only person
yeah,
that was able to take him down multiple
Brandon
times was
Moreno.
Moreno.
Yeah, in his last however many fights, I was looking at it yesterday. He's only been taken down more than 2 times, or yeah, more than three plus times by Brandon Moreno, and including in that list, he got taken down like after like we're talking years ago, but including in that fight list where he only got taken down by Brandon Moreno, it was fucking what's his name, Alexander Pantoja was there, and he's not getting taken down 3 times by Pantoja, who's smaller than him, and now he's fighting a guy who's like
And
what.
who I think is a better takedown threat than Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, 5, 6 inch height advantage. Sandhagen's gonna have to get really low to try to get those takedowns unless he gets some trips. Like if Figgy's panic shooting, getting punched up on the feet. I don't know. I like the under strikes in that or the under takedowns in that one, and I have Sandhagen by
Oh no,
point.
no, definitely do not take the
I mean,
understrikes.
yo,
Sanhagen,
my bad. Under 2.5
yeah,
takedowns, people. Yeah, not under strikes.
yeah. Sanhagen be getting a lot of strikes, bro.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that. Good correction before people tell
He
that.
be getting 100 plus in a lot of his fights.
Yeah, and he's gonna be teeing off in this one, in my opinion. I think he stays on the feet unless Figgy tries to
Yeah,
get him again.
I think he's gonna make it stay on the feet and just piece him up.
Yeah, so that's what I think too, and I think the under 2.5 three takedowns for Sandhagen's a pretty high line. I know he's done it a couple times in his career, but like this is not a good matchup for him to try to be shooting takedowns. I don't see it. And I like that under 2.5 at even money. It was when I got it. I think it's like minus 175 now. I got it at Pick'em.
Wait, what did you say? My bad. I was reading a message.
I had the under 2.5 takedowns at Pick'em. It's like minus 175 now. Am I correct? You can probably get better odds on.
What?
Yeah, it's at minus 175 for the under 2.5 now.
And you took it at minus 115?
Yeah,
Wow, I was looking at it when it was at minus 115 yesterday.
yeah. I only
What?
have
That shit is under 200 now.
really.
Minus 200 now.
Yeah, it's moving. It's gonna correct pretty soon. It's gonna move like 1.5.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, it's gonna
I should have
correct.
took that shit when I saw it last night.
Yeah, I liked it, so I signaled that off rip for a unit. Um, yeah, I like that play. I like Sandhagen by decision. I'm not jumping at the odds. I'm assuming you guys both like Sandhagen too.
Yeah, I like him to win by decision.
So you think
But I'm also running Corey Sandhagen round 4, round 5 KO. I mean round 4, round 5. Just
yeah, that's
finish.
good. It's good odds. You can catch Figgy sleeping late rounds. I do like that.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
looking.
Figgy's always been really heavy and had a little bit of weight issues. I mean, I remember going back to the Moreno, trilogy. So my pick, Mike, did you watch the weigh-ins today? I
Yeah,
was at work. I
yeah, I
didn't
did.
catch it. All right. So how did how did Figueiredo look?
Fucking ripped.
And he made 135,
Yes,
no problem.
he made 135 on the dot. Yeah, and he's ripped. Like I was surprised. Whoever posted those pictures of him being fat, it was edited. It had to be. There's no possible way he's this ripped, and he was fat in those pictures.
Yeah, he carries a lot of weight,
If we take,
but
hold up, before you talk about this, I have this for the guys. I'm gonna probably put this in the description, or I'll put a picture up on the screen when I post it on YouTube. But if you take our lock parlay, not our, I guess not locks, but our favorites of the card, us three, Gillian Robertson moneyline, Azamat Bokev by knockout or decision, and Ivana Petrovic by knockout or decision, you get plus 231 on DraftKings. You could probably get it better elsewhere.
Let's just see right now.
Looking at the double chances and stuff right now, I'm gonna look the Ivana Petrovic. I'm gonna look on Bet365 because a lot of the times they have some of the best odds, but not all of them.
How do you guys feel about Thomas Peterson? I also think he's a lock,
Yeah,
but I think
yeah, we do.
I
We
think he
like
gets
him as well.
I think he
yeah,
gets done by decision plus
Yeah,
100.
yeah, we both said
we
the
think
same thing.
we think he's locked in.
We do.
Yeah,
We do.
I think he gets it done by decision. I think Dante May should not be in the UFC. He's
Yeah,
fucking ass.
neither do I. Yeah, if you
Yeah, I'm
take,
surprised they didn't cut him yet, but I mean the heavyweight division's so thin, so
he's ranked, or no, he was ranked like 2 fights ago. It was
Yeah, he
ridiculous.
was.
Which was ridiculous. He's losing. He
Yeah,
was
that was
losing to
absolutely
guys.
insane.
He was losing to guys who got cut. But if you take, you have Osmot Bakoyev. We go. Not 33 double chance because I don't think he's subbing Ryan Loader.
Nah, yeah, I just took him money line
Okay.
plus 263.
If you
Ivana to win by KO or decision, Gillian to win by KO or decision, and
nah,
Azamat money.
take take Gillian. What I have, I don't like Gillian Robertson by knockout or decision because even though Marina Rodriguez has never been subbed, she is old as shit, and Julian Rodriguez is. She might want to prove a point that like even though you've never been subbed, I'm still Julian Rodriguez or Julian Robertson, and I can still sub you. So I just like her money line. What I have right
Yeah,
here, I
money
don't think
line just in case then.
what I have right here. This is better odds a little bit. So Ivana Petrovic by knockout or decision. I don't think um he's not gonna sub brown belt. Gillian Robertson money line and Ozma Pakoya by knockout or decision. Um, Ryan Lord is pretty wicked on the ground. I don't think that's gonna get he can't subbed. You got plus 242, so almost plus 250 on a 3-legger. I like that a lot. I'll be playing that. That's the lock parlay, the gem parlay right
What do
there.
you have? Plus 232?
Plus 242.
Yeah, I got plus 231.
You got it on DraftKings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it's around that odds too on DraftKings. I'm on Bet365. It's just slightly better, but around the same anyway. Plus 230 to plus 250 range, solid for three people that are pretty confident on. We're gonna ride that. Um, we're coming up on like the 2 hour mark. We pretty much talked about everything. Any picks that anyone wants to talk about to close?
Let's see. What didn't I speak about?
no, I'm in on Sanhagen winning the main event, but also probably just because I just have that little if in me. I'm probably gonna do Figueiredo by submission because his jujitsu scrambles are like ridiculously good, and his jujitsu was always good. I mean, he did get choked out by Brandon Moreno, but like Brandon Moreno stunned him and then got him with a rear naked choke. But overall, um, like he didn't show that in like I think his last fight or something because I remember I remember I put it up on the Discord and I said Figueiredo had better jiu-jitsu. I was going to rely on him, but there's still like a little part of me that hopes that that part of him is still there because Figueiredo by submission is plus 1,600. But that Corey Sandhagen knows how to handle himself. I mean, Corey Sandhagen by decision is minus 160. That's probably
Yeah,
what's going to be my pick.
I think Corey Sandhagen is too defensively sound to get called by a sub.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. But for
I
the odds, yeah, I know what G-Stan mean or Unc means. So
No, I
plus
understand what he's saying. Plus 1,600 is definitely playable, but I just think Corey's another level.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, but yeah, it's just like my odds insurance pick is the submission because I don't know, I seen Figueiredo do crazy stuff, kick off the fence, roll like so. If that part of him is in there, I mean,
yeah,
there's the 1%, but no, overall, I think Corey Sandhagen's gonna handle it. So.
um,
I think Reiner the Ritter for one takedown is plus 500, and that's like an insanely value play.
it I guess because one,
It's either gonna happen very easily or it's not gonna happen at all,
I
in
don't
my
think it
opinion.
happens at all, in my opinion. But I guess for plus 4 or 500, I don't really care. It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter what
like
I.
plus 500 sprinkle, bro.
Yeah, yeah. For one,
Like
especially when he
Reiner the
wants to get
Ritter
on
is
the mat,
just take people down.
and he's bigger. Yeah, I agree. So
He's way bigger, but I do think Bo Nichols wrestling is just a million times better. But also, when I was looking, like when I was doing my research, Gordon Ramsay fucking armbarred this nigga. But that was also a very long time ago.
Gordon Ramsay's the
Gordon
chef, bro.
Ramsay, Gordon
Yeah, bro.
Ryan.
But you gotta realize they were just grappling.
Yeah,
Imagine if Reiner the Ritter is over here ground and pounding him and then opens up for a submission. You know what I mean?
I don't think he gets subbed, but at the same time, it is MMA, and Bo is still mostly unproven.
Listen, I'm just I'm riding with Bo just because of all the hype and everything. But trust me, when this fight was first announced, I was on Reiner the Ritter all the way. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, this is free money, plus 200. I'm about to take that shit. But I don't know, bro. Everybody's convincing me otherwise.
Hey, Tapology has Reiner de Ritter as the favorite, even though the odds are like moving to more minus 400 ish for fucking Bo.
Yeah, it's just but the way I see that for the tapology is that people are just hating on Bo Nichols
Yeah,
because his
that's
last
exactly
fight.
how I saw it too. It was just being like, all right, let me be funny and
Because
fucking
I agree with them. If I'd been on the tapology shit, I mean, if I voted on tapology shit, I would have voted Reiner the Ritter.
go ahead and probably say that our gem underdog is going to be Cameron Smotherman. We're all pretty
Yeah,
much
I'm
unanimous
riding
on
with
that.
him. I'm putting maybe 2 units on him, depending on my unit size tomorrow. But it's either gonna be $500 or $1,000 on him, no matter what.
Yeah, so we're gonna gem dog Cameron Smotherman parlay is going to be shown, and any questions? Yeah, comment on this video. It's going to be up this right now. It's
I
Friday
also have
night.
some parlays if you want me to share them for the channel.
Yeah, what
I
what we
got
got? Let's
I
hear
got
one or
some
two of them.
crazy. Got some crazy parlays. I got $117 to win $2,200. Ivana Petrovic, Thomas Peterson, Gaston Bolanos, Bokev, Daniel Rodriguez plus 3.5, which is the only one that's scaring me, and then Cameron Smotherman
I like
money
that.
line.
I like that.
Oh shit!
That's
I like that.
$117 plus 1,700
Yeah, I
to
like
win
that.
2,200.
I like
That's a
that.
six leg.
I like that. Besides the 3.5, but I very lively could see the 3.5. I could see Rodriguez knocking him out because Ponzi's chin is chinny, but I like it for plus 1,700
Listen,
and
I just took plus 3.5 just in case it
yeah,
goes to a close decision. You know what I mean?
yeah. That's good. I like it.
But then
Um,
I took another one too for $88. I took Corey Sandhagen, Bo Nickel, Montel Jackson, Gillian Robertson, Gaston Bolanos, and then I took Cameron Smotherman plus 3.5, and then Yana Santos plus 3.5. But I don't know. I'm thinking about cashing that out because of Yana.
um, yeah, I like that. I have a little lotto going on too. It's yeah, name another one while I go find this lotto. I have a screenshot of it. I know you have more than one parlay. What else you got?
Those are my two parlays.
All right.
I have another parlay, but it's a 12 leg. It's just like a
Yeah, it's
moonshot.
just a nuke.
I
Yeah,
put $24 to win 4,500.
I do. I like that parlay a lot. I'm probably gonna tail that plus 1700 one. It seems
Yeah, I
more
like that one.
realistic.
That was my original one. That was like the first one I ever made. Usually, my first ever parlay that I make for the UFC card, usually those ones hit.
I took like
Yeah, because you're not second guessing yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I always like change my mind during the fights, and it always fucks me over.
I
I'm
do
just
this.
gonna start staying with my pre picks.
I do the same shit, dude.
That shit fuck.
I have a two-legger, pretty wide odds and pretty risky, obviously. But you get you get plus 1,000 on DraftKings. It's probably better elsewhere. Thomas Peterson by TKO or knockout by
No, 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 no. Yo, listen. That's one thing I wanted to say. Dante Almeida does not get knocked out, bro. He's ass as fuck, but he doesn't get knocked
Yeah, but
out.
if you look at his
I'm
fights,
pretty sure the
he's not
only
fighting.
knockout he has was a doctor stoppage. No.
I don't think he's getting. No, he doesn't get finished like that. He gets. But I'm saying if he's on the ground, he hasn't fought really high level wrestlers like this. He's gonna get taken down, and he's gonna be down there. He doesn't get back up. So what are we gonna say that Thomas Peterson's just gonna lay there inactive?
I
He's
think
fairly active on the
at that
ground.
at that point, I think Thomas Peterson can get a sub if he's playing the
Yeah,
ground game, taking him down and shit.
yeah, I
Because I
agree.
think he's more likely to sub him than knock him
Yeah,
out.
I just had a two-legger, Thomas Peterson TKO. I can just picture the late round dead Dante May's been getting taken down all fight, and then Azamat Bokev by knockout. You get plus 1,000. If you don't like the Thomas Peterson, like if you swap that out and you take instead, Cameron Smotherman by knockout, you get that up to plus 14, plus 1,500 range. Azamat Bokev, Cameron Smotherman, two-legger, both by knockout.
Wow, I think I'm gonna run that just in case.
Yeah,
Just
but
in case, because I definitely both think they can get a knockout. So I'm just gonna take that. Fuck it.
yeah. So um, I'll post this video tonight, and I'll hit you guys in the chat. We're coming up on like